presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Fox. We are Wisconsin.
The Brew Crew is back in Brewtown, set to open up another homestand this week, and they'll open it up against the Tampa Bay Rays as interleague play continues for the Milwaukee Brewers here at home. And they go up against that all in tough AL Central. The Rays in third place, but the Brew Crew playing the top three teams in the AL East. Just got done with Boston and have New York yet to go after this series. However, they open up play tied for first with St. Louis in the National League Central. St. Louis now without Albert Pujols, who's out up to 4 to 6 weeks with a broken bone in his forearm. Well, Sean Markham injured his hip flexor on Friday in Boston, and he was out on the mound today trying to make up for the difference. But this is what happened on Friday. A very tough first inning for him. As you see, he is definitely aggravated with that left leg, left hip. 44 pitches on Friday is all he will last in that first inning. He had an MRI done on Sunday. Everything tested out fine. And then today was out on the mound throwing, and he said everything tested out just fine out on the mound. Now, he needed to make those throws today really in order to set up his routine, in order to make his start on Wednesday. Tomorrow, he's going to field some ground balls just to double check and make sure his hip feels good. He's going to give himself probably the green light to go, but we won't know that until tomorrow. The decision is up to him. Moments ago, the Brewers announced that Ryan Braun scratched from the lineup tonight, upper respiratory infection. So Mark Kotze gets the start in left field. And when we come back, we'll see how that's going to affect the lineups. Brian and Bill are all set to take over from here as we get closer to first pitch. Home sweet home for the Brew Crew. Best record in the majors at Miller Park.
Fox Sports Wisconsin is presented by Menards. Save big money on all your home improvement needs at Menards. By Triple Hops Brewed Miller Lite. Taste greatness. by AT&T. And brought to you by Toyota, proud sponsor of the Milwaukee Brewers and the Toyota territory at Miller Park.
All fortunate tonight. The roof is open, some clouds up there, but it has turned out to be a nice, comfortable evening here in Milwaukee. The Brewers back home. Chris Narveson on the mound, coming off a win against the Chicago Cubs, and Big Jeff Neiman will toe the rubber for the Tampa Bay Rays. Interleague baseball continues at Miller Park. And hi, everybody. Brian Anderson along with Bill Schroeder. Welcome back from Miller Park. We are certainly excited to be back in the home confines, and the Brewers have a lot of success here in their home ballpark, Brock. No doubt about that. But coming off a 2-5 road trip, they're going to be put to the test tonight, though, without their star, Ryan Braun.
Yeah, an upper respiratory infection, they call it. Seeing Ryan Braun before the ball game today, he wasn't doing all that well. You can see what the Brewers have done here at Miller Park, and Ryan Braun, one of the best. About a .350 batting average with 9 home runs. You can see how well they have done both offensively and with the pitching staff. The Brewers hitting about 50 points better here at Miller Park. The earned run average for the pitcher is about a half a run less, so very good to be back here at Miller Park. The Brewers have had a lot of success here.
Well, this run through the American League East continues. The Brewers dropped 2 out of 3 to Boston. Now they square up with the Tampa Bay Rays. It's the first trip for the Rays inside Miller Park. Lineups of the first pitch coming up next. Stay with us.
A Monday night, and we are set for baseball here. The Brewers and the Tampa Bay Rays. Milwaukee coming in 40-33 on the year. They are in a first place tie with the St. Louis Cardinals, while the Tampa Bay Rays at 39-33. Joe Maddon's club 4.5 back of the Boston Red Sox. They are trailing the Red Sox and the Yankees in the American League East. And here is Joe Maddon's Piggly Wiggly batting order today. Johnny Damon will lead off. He has been the DH for the Rays. He is in left field tonight. Then Zobrist in right field, Evan Longoria at third base. Middle of the order is B.J. Upton, Sean Rodriguez, and Casey Kochman. And the bottom three, Kelly Shopik, Elliott Johnson, and Jeff Neiman returning from the disabled list. And that lineup will match up against Chris Narveson, trying to improve his record to 5-4 with a win tonight.
Yeah, Narveson has won his last 2 starts against the Cardinals here at Miller Park and at Chicago at Wrigley Field. 4 runs in 13 1/3 innings. This is the first time he's ever faced the Tampa Bay Rays.
And many of these Rays, not only have they not faced the Brewers, they have not been inside Miller Park's in its existence, as Johnny Damon takes a ball down and away from Narveson. This is going to be the big test for Tampa Bay in this series as they go into the National League. They are typically known for their terrific defense. Damon is not the defender he used to be. We'll just put it that way. And he is getting the start in left field. Damon certainly brings a great presence to this clubhouse, to their lineup. He's hitting .274 to start play today with 8 home runs and 33 driven in, and Narveson walks him on 4 straight. Let's check the defense behind Narveson. Mark Kotsay gets the start in left field. Ryan Braun is out. Upper respiratory viral infection. Around the horn, it's the typical Brewers infield, and Jonathan Lucroy will do the catching with Chris Narveson on the mound. And there's Kotsay, just his 2nd start in left field this season. Ben Zobrist will bat for Tampa Bay. The Rays are coming off a sweep of the Florida Marlins. Zobrist drops a bunt down. It's a good one. No chance. Narveson will pick it up and an infield hit. And that's the way the Rays get their runs. They do a lot of the little things right. Yeah, they're at average, around middle of the pack in just about all their offensive categories, but they do a lot of things right. They play that small ball that Joe Madden has had him playing for the last few years. A beautiful bunt right down the left field line. Now the big boys coming up for Tampa. Tampa is where they are this year because of their pitching. Their offense has been just enough. So 2 on to start it here in the first inning for Evan Longoria. Longoria is having a down season at the plate. It's been an injury-filled season, but always a threat at the plate. He's hitting just .232 to start play today. 5 home runs, 19 runs batted in. A perennial all-star Evan Longoria, and the focal piece of this Tampa Bay Rays offense. He and B.J. Upton, who is in the on-deck circle. Those are the 2 big bats that the Brewers have to work around and be careful with today. In the air to right, Corey Hart eases back. Damon's going to tag at second, and the throw comes in, cut off. So a fly ball out, but a productive out, and Damon ends up at third base. Well, let's get to know the Tampa Bay Rays. They lost 8 of their first 9 games. Joe Madden was wondering where this team was going to be able to turn it around, but they did turn it around. They won 22 of their next 29 games to put themselves right back in the picture. And they opened play today just 4.5 back, and they've done it, Rock, with their pitching staff. One of the best starting rotations in all of baseball. Yeah, a lot of hard throwers, and the Brewers are going to see 2 of them. 2 pretty good pitchers, Hellickson and David Price. And their closer, former Cub Kyle Farnsworth, has been lights out this year. You know, the Rays in their last 7 games have been lights out. They haven't given up hardly anything, which is one of the reasons why they have been playing so well. Only 15 runs allowed for the Rays pitching staff in their last 7 games. B.J. Upton with runners at the corners. In this series, the Rays are going to send Jeremy Hellickson up to the mound tomorrow and David Price on Wednesday. And their starting pitchers lead the American League, lead all of baseball in innings picked up from the starters. They are over 6 innings per start. They are closer to 7 innings per start, as a matter of fact. So they haven't put a lot of pressure on their bullpen. Yeah, offense is average at best so far this year. You would figure as Evan Longoria starts heating up, that offense is going to get better. But their pitching's been terrific. They've only really got 2 guys who are going to steal bases. Sam Fuld, one of them. He's on the bench. No balls and a strike on B.J. Upton. Got one by him in the count 0-2. The Rays certainly could use more production from Upton. He's hitting just .218 this year. Has 8 homers and 31 driven in. Remember, the Rays had Manny Ramirez in the fold when they began the season. Ramirez retired, and from the moment Ramirez retired, left this Rays ball club, that allowed Johnny Damon to move into that designated hitter's role. This team took off, winning 22 of their next 29.
Yeah, a lot of baggage associated with Manny Ramirez. Once he left, so did the baggage. And things started to come together in that clubhouse.
0-2 to Upton. Nice play from Lucroy. That'll keep Zobrist at first base.
Yeah, it's been basically the last couple of starts for Chris Narveson. Fastball, changeup, cutter. Hasn't thrown too many curveballs. He spikes that one in the dirt, and a nice play by Jonathan to keep it in front of him. Not only keeping a run from scoring, but keeping a double play alive.
Ball and 2 strikes. Upton a bouncer over to short. Betancourt to second for 1. Weeks the turn. Low throw, not in time. That would have ended the inning. An awkward double play developing. It was a tough hop for Betancourt. And a low throw might have bought Upton just enough time to beat it out.
Yeah, Upton gets down that line in pretty good shape. It was kind of an awkward play for Betancourt. He caught a tricky hop, that second hop right here. That's all it took for Upton to be able to beat it at second base, or at first base.
Johnny Damon scores a run. The Rays on top 1-0. Tampa Bay with the early lead, and the speed of Upton able to plate that run. And an RBI for B.J. Upton, his 32nd run batted into the season. And it'll be Sean Rodriguez.
Yeah, Upton, one of those guys on the Rays that will run. He's got 18 stolen bases in 22 attempts.
And there he goes, and a low throw. Fielder had to dig it out. Nobody home for him. So that'll be a stolen base. Number 19 for B.J. Upton.
Man, when you're that fast, you go in the first move, and you're banking on 2 throws, 2 good throws to get you at second. And Prince not able to get the angle on the throw, elected to hold on to it, and that was a good decision. Took out Upton. Not a big lead, but he goes on the first move, and really no chance for Prince.
Runner at second with 2 away. Sean Rodriguez bangs one over to third. Long throw for McGee in time, and the inning is over. But the Rays score. They get a run on an Upton ground ball. 1-0. The Brewers coming up for the first time. These two franchises, but the two in the managerial seats do. Ron Renneke and Joe Madden, longtime coaches together under Mike Scioscia and the Angels. And Ron Renneke managing against Joe Madden, who endorsed him for this job for the first time. Renneke's Piggly Wiggly batting order is Ricky Weeks, Niger Morgan, and Corey Hart at the top. You've got Prince Fielder, Casey McGee, Mark Kotze in the middle. Kotze in there for Braun with Betancourt, Lucroy, and Chris Narveson rounding it out. And Jeff Neiman returning from the disabled list. It was a lower back injury that knocked him out for 6 weeks. He makes his return tonight against Milwaukee.
Yep, 61 days on the disabled list with a bad back. His last start on May 4th. First start against the Brewers, and only his second start away from home this year.
Neiman is a big man, a power arm right-hander. He is 6'9", 260. And facing the Milwaukee Brewers franchise for the first time in his career. An imposing presence on the mound, just 60 feet 6 inches away, as his first pitch is in there for a strike. Ricky Weeks leads him off, a .288 hitter. Has 14 home runs, 32 driven in. His last home run came at Fenway Park in Boston. Had a leadoff home run Saturday night in that Brewers 4-2 win against the Red Sox. And a little flare. That's going to be trouble. That will fall for a base hit. And Weeks will settle for a single. A little handle hit to right field. And the Brewers with a base runner to start it. Let's check the Tampa Bay Rays defensively. Johnny Damon is the one to watch in left field. You got B.J. Upton and Ben Zobrist who join him in the outfield. Evan Longoria, Elliot Johnson, Sean Rodriguez, and Casey Kochman around the horn, with Kelly Shopik doing the catching. It's a very good infield defense. They don't usually hurt themselves on the defensive side.
Yeah, they've only committed 35 errors this year, second best in the American League, and third best overall in all of baseball.
Here is Nyjer Morgan, and he drops a butt down in the air. Easy play for Neiman, and Weeks just back. A failed bunt attempt, and one away. Our Nissan keys tonight on Jeff Neiman come from the Brewers hitting coach Dale Swain.
Kind of a crafty guy. He's not going to overpower you. You know, he's not a big strikeout guy. Knock on wood, hopefully not tonight, but he's got pretty good command of an overhand curveball. He's going to be anywhere from 88 to 93, depending on you know, what he's been doing. We don't have any reports on how he did in his rehab, but you know, early on before he got hurt his back, he was 90, 93. Pretty straight fastball, can run when it gets on his arm side.
I didn't see Dale actually knock on wood, so if you say knock on wood, does that count? But it's not often you see a 6'9" pitcher out on the mound and you refer to him as crafty.
That's a good point.
I mean, he throws downhill, and when he does that, he stays tall and throws downhill. He gets pretty good sink on his fastball.
I think a lot of his craftiness at this point of his career having to do with the number of injuries that he has endured. He had a shoulder injury last year. He was going along really well to start the season last year before shoulder problems sidelined him and really sent him to the numbers where he ended up with a 4.39 ERA in 29 starts a year ago, and a back injury earlier this year. When he came out of Rice, he was the #1 pick for the Tampa Bay Rays, the 4th pick overall in 04. He was a mid-90s pitcher, and at 6'9" with mid-90s and a big breaking ball, and a tremendous college program he played for at Rice University in Houston. There were very high expectations for Jeff Neiman.
Well, his first 2 years with Tampa, 09 and last year, he's combined 27 and 16. Earned run average just a little over 4, which again is not too bad pitching in the American League East.
Neiman actually garnered some votes in 09 for Rookie of the Year. You don't see that very often from pitchers. He finished 4th in the voting that season, 2009, a 13-win year for Jeff Neiman. That was the year Andrew Bailey, another pitcher with the Oakland Athletics, won the Rookie of the Year.
And a lot of times when you've had back issues, you're going to change your delivery just a little bit. You can see him kind of slide and kind of lean into the delivery. Doesn't use his back leg all that much, which is why he doesn't have the velocity that he used to have. And that is our Jimmy John's delivery of the game.
And the 6'9" Neiman against the 6'6" Corey Hart. Moving up into the 3-hole today with Ryan Braun out, and Hart rips one to right field. Back is Zobrist. He's got it for the out. Good line drive out from Corey Hart. So 2 gone, and here comes Prince Fielder. Powerball home run leaderboard. Fielder belted his 20th home run of the season yesterday in Boston. It came for Prince Fielder in the 7th inning, his first home run ever at Fenway Park. And that home run tied him with Jeff Jenkins on the franchise leaderboard. He is tied with Jenkins for 2nd behind Robin Yount. Fielder and Jenkins with 212 career home runs. Robin Yount, the franchise leader, with 251. Usually the flash bulbs pop when Fielder is at the plate. Prince with 20 homers, 61 runs batted in. Leads the National League in RBIs coming into play tonight. And he drives that one slicing foul down the left field line.
Yeah, we talk about it all the time, but Prince Fielder is ordinarily, usually throughout his career, a second half hitter. That's when he does most of his best work. Imagine the kind of numbers that Prince is going to be able to put up should he continue with that. I mean, his April and May, tremendous. He's usually a pretty slow starter.
Now, twice Fielder has been the National League Player of the Week. Hoping for a big homestand against the Tampa Bay Rays. That one skips away from Shopik, and Weeks will end up at second base. So the Brewers do get a runner into scoring position in the first inning.
That's that big curveball that Dale Swain was talking about. Goes straight down, and sometimes he'll spike it with 2 strikes. That's a tough pitch to block.
Joe Madden hoping to get 100 pitches out of Neiman today. He said he could go over 100 pitches if need be. Went just over 90 in his final minor league rehabilitation start his last time out. And 3 appearances in the minor leagues to get ready for this start. And a strike called on the inside corner. Neiman rings up Prince Fielder. So the Brewers get a leadoff single from Weeks. They strand him at second base. 1-0 Rays.
Right, 1-0 Rays top 2, and time for our Farmers Insurance report card. Ron Reddick, he told me the Rays have stayed competitive this year despite losing 4 key players from 2010 with great pitching. Tampa has a team ERA of 1.85 in the last 7 games Great defense. The Rays have made just 14 errors on the road this season, and a manager, that man right there, Joe Maddon, who is very creative in scoring runs, as Bill and BA have referred to it as small ball tonight. Guys, it all adds up to a 39-33 record in a very tough division.
Well, the Rays have certainly done it in an unconventional fashion under Joe Maddon. He takes a lot of the spotlight, which is what a young ball club can count on. I think it's a benefit to this young team. There's certainly enough spotlight to go around these players, but when things are going bad, that's when Joe Maddon seems to be, as a major league manager, at his best. He can take some of the heat away from his players. In the playoffs last year, they were ousted by the Texas Rangers as Narveson punches out Casey Kochman to start the second inning.
Yeah, Joe Maddon is considered to be what they refer to as a players type manager. He'll mix it up with the guys and communicate very well. It's got a complete open door policy. You know, you hear about open door policy all the time. It's kind of a cliche in sports, but Joe Maddon, a lot like Ron Renneke, and you'll see Ron Renneke and Joe Maddon both doing batting practice, going through the outfield, talking to his players, seeing how they're doing. Neither one of them are much about leaning on fungos during batting practice. They're always up to something.
Kelly Shoppach, the batter for the Rays, fouls it away. And the two that worked under Mike Scioscia, but I think, Rock, you made a great point, Brewers Live pregame, about the knowledge that both of these men brought to the Angels. And I think that's probably why Mike Scioscia, he'd be the first to tell you, that's why he put them on his staff beginning in 2000 with the Angels. And of course they would go on to win the World Series in 2002. But both men brought a lot to the table for Mike Scioscia to begin with.
Right. I'm not saying that Mike Scioscia didn't have anything to do with it when I was talking about perhaps one of the reasons why the Angels were so successful, and that Scioscia surrounded himself with some pretty bright guys. Joe Maddon, Renneke, Bud Black, amongst others.
A swing and a miss from Shoppach, a ball and 2 strikes.
So my days with Joe Maddon go back to 1989 and 90 when I was a member of the California Angels, and he was a roving minor league instructor, and saw him throughout spring training, and he would show up at Anaheim from time to time just to kind of help out, throw some batting practice. Liked him then, and you knew he was going to be a success down the road. He certainly put his time in. He spent 37 years in professional baseball. that's paying your dues.
Follow Terry Collins as the manager with the Angels, and then Mike Scioscia got the job and retained Joe Maddon as his bench coach those first few years up until the 06 season, as Narveson strikes out Kelly Shoppach. There are many Joe Maddon fans, none bigger than Ron Renneke, the Brewers skipper.
Joe's a very intelligent guy. Great baseball mind, but he's got great common sense. So he can, when you talk about adjusting to personalities, Joe can adjust to personality. Whatever it takes, Joe can get to that personality. He's as good as I've ever seen on getting to difficult personalities.
And that is from a manager in Ron Renneke who is not quick with the superlative. So when he talks about a guy who makes the adjustments to personalities, that truly is what managing in this day and age is all about.
No doubt about it. You got to be a psychologist amongst a lot of different things, and you have to also surround yourself with some very smart guys, and both Ron Renneke and Joe Maddon have done that as well. You can't be everywhere all the time, so you have to have people around you that you trust, and that's what makes you a good leader.
Rays shortstop Elliott Johnson batting with 2 outs. Narveson ahead of him, 1-2, and a half swing. Did he go? They'll ask. Yes, he did. Notice how Lucroy put the tag on him first, then asked for the appeal. Smart. Chris Narveson strikes out the side in the second inning. Rays 1, Brewers nothing. Milwaukee coming up.
Well thought out. He's really bright. He's a good listener. He's very opinionated, but he's willing to listen to what you have to say, and he's willing to accept new ideas. He definitely knows what he wants to do. Ronnie rarely sees gray. He's mostly a black and white guy.
The comments of Rays skipper Joe Madden on Ron Renneke as we head to the bottom of the second inning, and we have learned that about the new Brewers manager. He has a plan and he knows what he wants to do, and that's a great way to say it, right? He sees black and white. Casey McGee leads off for the Brewers against Neiman.
And that's where you have to be as a manager, don't you? I mean, there's no really gray area when you're deciding whether to squeeze bunt or send a guy or bring your infield in. You have to make a decision very quickly. You can't be wishy-washy being in that manager's seat.
Slightly off the end of the bat over is Zobrist to make the catch for out number one. Now Ryan Braun out of the lineup. Upper respiratory viral infection means Mark Kotsay gets the start here today. And Mark and Canada with the College World Series in play. It brings to mind some great stories of Mark Kotsay back in his college days. B.A.
Kotsay is a legend in Omaha, the most outstanding player in the '95 World Series with Cal Fullerton. In the 11-5 win over USC, Mark was 2 for 4 with 2 homers and 5 RBIs. But get this, he was also the Titans' closer. He pitched the final inning in 2/3 and struck out Jeff Jenkins to end the game. He has the highest batting average in College World Series history at .517 and could throw some heat off the mound, too.
Yeah, no question. They used him. Augie Garrido was his head coach back then, now the head coach of the University of Texas. And Ron Renneke said in Boston that you remember the game Friday, Markham was out after the first inning. Kotsay was the position player to come out of the position ranks to pitch if need be. He said he was the first guy in. He's been campaigning for a trip to the mound, Mark Kotsay.
Well, I just hope that the Brewers don't need him, because things are not going to be looking very good if Kotsay's on the mound. But versatile, I get what he's saying.
The college baseball legend Jeff Neiman had a pretty good run through the College World Series himself back in '03. He'd led the Rice Owls to the national championship in 2003. Get this, Neiman was 17-0 as a Rice Owl going into that College World Series.
World Series going on right now out in Omaha. I had an opportunity to play in the College World Series back in '77.
The Clemson Tigers.
It's a while ago.
Nobody can remember that far back, though.
No, I do.
Betancourt singles to left and a base hit. How'd you do in the College World Series, partner?
That was my freshman year. I started the middle game against the Temple Owls. I went 2 for 5. So I have a career World Series batting average of .400. You know who was also in that College World Series, the same World Series, was Paul Molitor, member of the Minnesota Golden Gophers. He was playing short.
Just taking a stroll down College World Series memory lane here. Nice.
Adding what I can.
Jonathan Lucroy at the plate after Betancourt's single. A 2-out hit for Yuniesky Betancourt, which incidentally was his first career hit against Jeff Neiman. He had been 0 for 7. Lucroy at .264 on the year with 6 homers, 31 driven in. His numbers offensively still compare favorably to most catchers in the National League, including guys like Brian McCann, who is thought of as the best hitting catcher in the National League and the perennial all-star catcher.
Yeah, home runs 6, RBIs 31. Is pretty good work when you consider he missed the first 10 games of the season.
Got off to a blazing start with a batting average, and then the power came in the month of May. Still looking for his first home run in the month of June, and we are at the 20th of June today. Hard to believe this month is flying by. The Brewers with 40 wins already. Only the Phillies have more wins in the National League than the Milwaukee Brewers. Lucroy draws a walk. So first and second, and a good hitting pitcher coming up in Chris Narveson. Narveson has 4 hits this year, 4 for 26. His career batting average is .250, however. After Narveson's last start at Wrigley Field, Chicago, he actually spent a good bit of time with Dale Swaim in Chicago at the cage. It was the day the Brewers had optional hitting, and Narveson took advantage of it. Pitchers don't often get one-on-one time with the hitting coach,
and don't often get to take batting practice on the road. Just not enough time. Yeah, but even with that fastball, 91-92, that's pretty good speed for Chris Narveson. You get up into the mid-90s. I think Narvy's a bit challenged up there, but this is the speed of a fastball that he can handle. But that's a different story, that curveball. That's a good curve.
Narveson has 1 career extra base hit. That was a double. Has driven in a run this year. Got a man in scoring position. 2 on with 2 out. Down in the count 0-2. And a little bouncer foul. Narveson able to stay alive on an emergency hack. And a single and a walk with 2 away. And another 0-2 offering from Neiman. Narveson, a bouncer out to short. Johnson will go the easy way. And the side retired, but the Brewers able to clear their pitcher. We head to the 3rd inning at Miller Park. 1-0 Rays. Wisconsin is presented by Piggly Wiggly, the official supermarket of Fox Sports Wisconsin. By Ho Chunk Gaming Wisconsin, your ticket to more. And by Subway. Try our $5 featured footlong of the month. Subway, where winners eat.
Back at Miller Park, 1-0 Tampa leading here. Top of the 3rd. Rick Schlesinger, the Brewers Executive VP for Business, joining us. It's Green Week. So tomorrow we're going to do a little e-cycling.
Yes, I didn't know what that word meant before this year, but basically fans tomorrow morning from 8 a.m. to noon at Helfer Field can bring in electronic equipment, computer equipment they want to discard. It can be done in an environmentally friendly way. And this Sunday, it's Bike to Miller Park. We're going to have folks ride their bikes on the Hank Aaron State Trail and ride to Miller Park. It's just things we're doing this week to help the environment and sustainability, and bring awareness to environmental causes.
Big breaking news today, looking ahead to the series coming up in a week or so. July 4th, dollar hot dogs?
Well, it's American is apple behind baseball and hot dogs. So what we want to do is have fans come to the game. It's going to be a nice series. Arizona Diamondbacks are playing good baseball, and dollar hot dogs on July 4th. It's pretty good.
All right, Rick, thanks. So, guys, after we burn off all our calories biking to the ballpark, dollar hot dogs on the 4th of July.
Yeah, man, save the paper, save the trees, crush a hot dog or 20. That's going to be a big nap after that day.
You know, Diamondbacks come in. It's usually our big Clements Bratfest down at the South Dock.
That is true. With Darren Sutton and Mark Grace, they always egg that on.
I've been asked about that amongst the television crew here in Milwaukee.
This is a big stretch. Back to the business of baseball. You think about the Diamondbacks coming in, then the Reds will be here.
Yep.
And a significant stretch of games for Milwaukee that they'll have to wiggle through as Neiman strikes out. And a high throw. Fielder showing his vertical leap. Jumped off the bag to pull that one down. And able to secure the out. It's like Lucroy a little shaken up behind the plate.
Well, the bat hit him. I'm not sure. Let's check it out. Neiman 6'9". Actually, that got him right on the point of the shoulder. Yeah, that's what you call one of those burners. That burns that shoulder up. You see him clear Neiman. He's in obvious discomfort, but that goes away quickly.
4 consecutive strikeouts for Narveson, and he zips one in on Johnny Damon. Johnny Damon walked and scored in the first inning. And strike 2.
And I want to say hello to Madonna Schaefer. She's from Oakfield, Wisconsin. She's a big Brewers fan. She's 95 years old, mother of our fantastic 40 prize winner tonight, Larry Schaefer. He's going to be helping us with tonight's instructional.
I saw Larry all decked out in full uni.
Yeah.
Full Brewers uniform. Gets to be the brewer for a day.
I told him, I went up to him, I said to him, are you ready for the instructions? He said, yeah, I'm excited. He says, we're going to talk about sliding headfirst into home plate.
And since he's in full uniform, he's ready to go. He threw out the first pitch tonight. Still got a good arm.
Yeah. He's ready.
And a swing and a foul out of play. So Larry Schaefer on the air with Jerry Augustine and Bill Schroeder tonight. And say hello to Mama Schaefer. 2-2 to Damon. The pesky Johnny Damon stays alive at the plate. Well, Johnny Damon is fast approaching a milestone. The big question is, will he play long enough to get there? He is in pursuit of 3,000 hits. Has 2,647 to start play today. He'll have a full season's worth to add to that total. You figure what, Rock? He'd need to play maybe 3 years, 4 years. He could do it. He's in great shape.
Well, especially in the American League as a DH. That'll extend your career. You don't realize how good this guy's career has been until you start digging deep into the numbers.
Played for a lot of winners. Johnny Damon in his first year as a Tampa Bay Ray and serving mostly as a designated hitter. Has 59 starts as the DH. Just his 8th start of the season in left field. Two-two pitch. In the air to center. Long run for Niger Morgan, but he'll run it down. And out number 2.
Hey, visit the Time Warner Cable Store at Mayfair Southridge Mall. If you bring in a competitor's invoice and switch to the Triple Play bundle, you'll get free tickets to select Brewers games while supplies last.
Good to be back at Miller Park and our great crew here covering the Brewers, the eyes and ears of Milwaukee Brewers baseball. Chris Withers, our producer tonight. Michael Odino directing. Brian Mikologic back in the chair of the better option. Ben Zobrist with 2 away. And a strike. 0-2 the count on Zobrist. Zobrist bunted for a single in the first inning. Right center field, Corey Hart wants it. And never mind, Nigel Morgan wants it, and he takes it. 3 up, 3 down. Narveson has retired 7 straight. And the red hot Ricky Weeks coming up. Singled his last time up. The Brewers down a run. We head to the bottom of the 3rd. And we would like to take a moment to acknowledge that Major League Baseball and Fox Sports lost a dear friend last week in Laura Ziskin. Laura was a prolific film producer and studio executive. She produced many great films, including Pretty Woman, As Good as It Gets, and the Spider-Man movies. Laura, who battled breast cancer for 7 years, was the co-founder of Stand Up to Cancer, an organization that Fox Sports and Major League Baseball proudly support. Laura will be missed. She was 61 years of age. And wearing our Stand Up to Cancer pens here tonight. Had a very successful day raising money for prostate cancer research yesterday. Father's Day for the Brewers in Boston yesterday. Ricky Weeks leads off this 3rd inning. Weeks, Nigel Morgan, and Corey Hart, top 3 against Jeff Neiman. Neiman's given up 2 hits and a walk. Has 1 strikeout thus far. And a bouncing ball that'll find its way through. Another base hit. Ricky Weeks is 2 for 2. And a leadoff base runner in the 3rd inning for Milwaukee.
Now just continues to rack up the base hits. Leads all second basemen in base hits. Runs scored. Yeah, home runs. And Ricky able to fight that one off. A pitch up and in, and dumps it into right. Another leadoff single for Ricky Weeks.
Ricky Weeks looking to start his first All-Star game, trailing Brandon Phillips, but he made up a lot of ground on Brandon Phillips. Way to go, Brewers fans, voting in Ricky Weeks. Starting to pay attention closer to the numbers outside of Milwaukee, it looks like.
Yeah, but just not a popularity contest. I mean, Brandon Phillips certainly has the name. He's done it over the course of a number of years, but Ricky Weeks' numbers far and away better than Brandon Phillips, just about better than any other second baseman in baseball.
Voting here at the ballpark ends on Friday, and you can continue to vote online at Brewers.com through the 30th of June. But across the board, Weeks with better numbers than Brandon Phillips. You see the vote totals have tightened up. Phillips just a couple of 100,000 ahead of Ricky Weeks, a little less than, as a matter of fact. So we encourage you to go online, go to Brewers.com. You can vote up to 25 times per email account. And all of you in the sound of our voices, if you vote the max, you'll get Weeks to the All-Star game. He's certainly deserving. Nigel Morgan lifting one deep to right. And Zobrist will run it down. Weeks is going to tag. He'll stop. I thought Nigel Morgan turned it into a home run hitter all of a sudden with that stroke. Just missed it apparently on the bat.
Yep.
Well, yesterday, Nigel Morgan with his second home run as a Milwaukee Brewer. He stepped up to the plate against Tim Wakefield and ripped one out of here 380 feet away. Powerball home run number 2 for Morgan. Niger had gone 219 games between home runs, 660 at bats from July 28th of 09 to June 4th of this season when he homered in Miami. And then it only took him 14 games and 54 at bats to get his next one.
Yeah, first time he's really been on a home run hitting ball club. It's contagious. Pirates didn't hit many. Nationals didn't hit many. The Brewers are always up amongst league leaders in homers.
One gone for Corey Hart with Morgan retired. If you're wondering, Nigel Morgan has 6 career home runs. 2 of them this year. He is 1 away from a career high. He hit 3 home runs in 09 between Pittsburgh and Washington. Neiman taking a look at Weeks. And Hart a swing and a miss. 1-2 the count on Corey Hart.
Yeah, good change up. Actually, that's a splitter that he'll throw from time to time. Not too often. See him hold that somewhat of a split-fingered fastball grip. And he'll change it in his glove when he doesn't want to throw it. But that last one was a good one.
A changeup from Neiman. Count evens at 2-2. Hart lined out to right field. His last time up, trying to set up Prince Fielder. For just joining us, Ryan Braun, a late scratch from the lineup today. Upper respiratory viral infection. Mark Kotze inserted into the lineup in left field. Corey Hart moved up in the lineup in the 3-hole for Braun. The Brewers feel like this is a running combination. Jeff Neiman on the mound and Kelly Shopik behind the plate. Shopik has a good arm, but an opportunity to run against Neiman. Get a big jump, perhaps. See if Ricky's on the move here. He stays put. The 2-2, a swing and a miss. Hart strikes out number 2, and that is the second strikeout for the Rays starter.
Yeah, being very careful with his fastball. He's able to get ahead with it and then go to the breaking pitches. There's that curveball that we've seen. Good job that time by Shopik to block it. That is one of those curveballs that goes straight down, that 12-6 rotation. Tough to throw for a strike, but you get a lot of swings and misses on it.
So 2 men are out, and it's Prince Fielder. Rays put a shift on for Fielder like most teams. And Fielder bangs one right into it. So the side retired. Fielder rolls out 6-3. Neiman gives up a single, but that's it.
reset. The only run of the game, top of the first. B.J. Upton beating out the back end of the double play. Johnny Damon scored. Jack Neiman of the Rays pitching well. 3 scoreless innings so far. Chris Narveson pitching well. 4 strikeouts, giving up just 1 hit to this point. But guys, the Rays have made that hit stand up so far.
That was a bunt single by Zobrist. Those 4 strikeouts for Narveson came in consecutive order in the second and to start the third inning, as Narveson will face Evan Longoria to start this 4th inning. Longoria flew out to right field in the first inning. Been nursing a foot injury lately. Had an oblique injury that sat him down for over a month. It's been an injury-filled season for Evan Longoria. Just 5 homers, 19 runs batted in. That one is skied into shallow center. And 1 away. Longoria is 0 for 2. And it leads us to our carsoup.com email the booth question. Maurice wants to know, is the AL East the best division in baseball this season?
I would think. I mean, it's a pretty good division when you talk about the top 3. You know, New York Yankees, the Red Sox, Tampa. You know, the big payrolls in New York and Boston, but you know, the Tampa Bay Rays have been able to hang in there the last few years.
Upton over to short. Betancourt winds it up and throws him out. 2 gone in the inning.
National League East not too bad.
I think the National League Central is going to end up being the most competitive division in the National League. I think the Cincinnati Reds, of course the Brewers, the Cardinals, all going to be in the picture.
See how well the Cardinals do without Adam Wainwright. Now Albert Pujols is going to be out 4 to 6 weeks with that broken, what is it, femur? What is it called? What do they have?
Had the fracture in the wrist.
Right. The fibula, tibula, femur. What is it?
Those are all leg bones, Rock.
It's not a wrist break. It's in the bone in the forearm.
Right where this ball hits Bob Davidson. That's what you're thinking. Right about there.
Exactly. And that's the exact arm that Albert Pujols broke. It's amazing how Bob Davidson's willing to do that for us.
I mean, we needed an on-camera perspective of that.
Yeah, back in the old days in the American League, that wouldn't have happened. Right off of that, whatever you call it, bone in the forearm.
It's a radius. It's a broken radius. But just stick with the forearm. I think you're safe going with the forearm injury, which is going to knock Pujols out 4 to 6 weeks. But I think that's a little eager, right, to come back from an injury like that.
Yeah, I was listening to Dan Wright explain the whole injury for Albert Pujols. The closer that break is to the wrist, the tougher it is for him to come back quickly. If it's closer to the elbow, it's going to be a little bit easier. Not as much torque on that bone as it heals, and he'll be able to come back. But that thing was fairly close to the wrist.
That happened yesterday. The Cardinals playing the Kansas City Royals. They took 2 out of 3 from Kansas City. Pujols homered in that game, but is out for over a month because of that injury. There's a play at first base very similar to what we saw with Derek Lee of the Cubs a few years back. A collision at first place on a throw up the line. So mark the day for the Cardinals. As Rodriguez goes into left field, playable for Katse. Had a good inning for Chris Narveson. He's rolling along well. He's only given up 1 bunt single. That's it.
4, time for crew in the community. Doug and Ellen Melvin will host their second jersey raffle this Saturday. The winner gets a framed Giovanni Gallardo autographed jersey. Raffle tickets will be sold throughout the concourse for $5 from the opening of the gates through the 4th inning. The winner will be announced during the middle of the 5th. Proceeds benefit Southeast Wisconsin chapter of Susan G. Komen for the Cure and ABCD After Breast Cancer Diagnosis Milwaukee. Guys, great jersey for some great causes.
Indeed. Thank you, Mark. And a big crowd here tonight at Miller Park. Family sports night for that particular family. They've been relatively quiet thus far. The Rays scored a run in the 1st inning. The RBI belongs to B.J. Upton. Drove in a run on a fielder's choice. He narrowly beat out the back end of a double play. It was a close call. It was a low throw from Weeks. It would have been an ending double play. Instead, Upton beat it out. The run scored. And that's been it offensively. The Brewers have a hit in each of the first 3 innings. Not much else. Little tapper from McGee. Neiman barehands it, throws on the run, and he gets his man. Good play. But here's a guy who has been on the disabled list with a lower back injury, and we'll see how he comes out of it.
No, the Rays were saying that there's really no restrictions on Neiman. He made those 3 rehab starts. Being on the disabled list 61 days, I would imagine Ted wanted to make sure he was completely recovered from that back strain. And big guy 6'9", that's a tough play bouncing off that mound. That's a good distance to reach down to grab it. Does a nice job with it and able to get Casey. There's a case where McGee wishes he was a little bit faster.
Good pickup over there by Kochman, one of the better defensive first basemen in the league. So 1 gone, McGee retired, and it's Kotze, and he sends one out to the shortstop, Johnson. Hit it hard, but right at the Rays shortstop. 2 quick outs in the 4th. And our AT&T trivia question tonight: who are the 3 MLB teams that have never won a game at Miller Park? Good question tonight. I think 2 of the teams on that list, they've never won a game here because they have not played here. Interleague baseball at Miller Park with this American League club, the Tampa Bay Rays, forced to eliminate their designated hitter. And in this case, I think it hurts Tampa Bay, putting Johnny Damon in the outfield. Betancourt. Oh, what a great catch. Longoria robs Betancourt of extra bases. And a quick inning. Outstanding play. Gold Glove third baseman right there, showing you that form.
brings us tonight's hammer to the game winners to Spare Time Bull Bar and Grill in Turtle Lake. If they call the Brewers in the next 24 hours, they get 40 Miller Lite beer pen tickets to a Brewers home game. This offer courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite.
Narveson back on the mound. He's given up just one run on one hit, a bunt single by Ben Zobrist. Facing Casey Kochman to start it here in the 5th inning. There are 3 good plays by the Rays last inning against the Brewers. Got Neiman spry off the mound making a play, and a good pick from Kochman. Kotze lined out, and then a diving catch from Evan Longoria, robbing Betancourt of extra bases. And you're seeing tonight the Rays calling card. Good pitching and defense. Hit hard, base hit over the leap of Ricky Weeks. Casey Kochman with a single. Second hit for the Rays. Earlier tonight, the Brewers Community Foundation presented a check to Urban Ecology Center prior to first pitch. The Urban Ecology Center, which has 2 locations in Milwaukee, is an environmental education organization whose mission includes protecting and using public natural areas and providing outdoor science education for urban youth. $65,000. Cecilia Gore on hand to issue that check. And a great cause, and it's fun to see all that money go to a good cause. Bouncing ball to third. McGee has it go off his glove. Throw to first late. Shopik will reach. And we'll see how they score that with a backhanded play that McGee typically makes.
Yeah, I think if he gets it in his glove right away, he's going to be able to get the Rays catcher. Shopik doesn't run all that well, so that could go either way. Backhand play rattled around the glove, but could not hold on.
No official score just yet. 2 on against Narveson. And that will go as an error on Casey McGee. He has had his troubles defensively this year. McGee now with 13 errors on the season. Skips away from Lucroy. The runners stay put. Well, there is a way out of this inning for Narveson. Got the light hitting shortstop at the plate here, and the pitcher, an American League pitcher at that, coming up next. Tampa Bay still trying to fill that hole at shortstop this season. Jason Bartlett had been their regular shortstop, traded to the San Diego Padres this offseason. He had been a staple at short.
And obviously in this situation in the National League ballpark, you would think that Joe Madden not going to drop down a bunt even in the American League. I mean, the leader in bunts in the American League and sacrifice bunts would be near the bottom in the National League. That's the biggest difference between American League and National League baseball. That pitcher up, and a large portion of those bunts are dropped down by pitchers. So everybody swings away in the American League.
Three balls and a strike, and that one missed. Ball 4. That is a no-no there. Bases are loaded. So Narveson walks a .218 hitter. He'll face Jeff Neiman here, likely up there to take a strike. Quick trip to the mound for Rick Kranitz, the Brewer pitching coach.
Now, if you have been watching Brewers baseball over the last couple of years, you'll know that there have been times when Chris Narveson gets himself into innings in which he has a tough time minimizing damage. It happened in his last start against the Cubs. He was cruising along, seemingly doing pretty well. Walks are always involved, it seems. And barely was able to get out of the 5th inning after really cruising through 4 innings. And Rick Cranit's going out there to the mound, trying to eliminate something like that.
A single, an error, and a walk. And the bases are loaded with nobody out. The pitcher Neiman at the plate. And he takes a strike. Neiman in his career is 0 for 11 with 8 strikeouts. I'm wondering if the Rays will have Neiman even swing the bat at all in this sequence, especially with Johnny Damon coming up next. He does swing away. He was out in front. And it's 0-2.
Well, nothing worse than for a sore back than swinging a baseball bat, so apparently he's all right.
Narveson could use a strikeout here. And he gets it with a breaking ball. Strikeout number 5. 1 gone, bases loaded, back to the top of the order. And now Narveson really going to have to bear down with Johnny Damon coming up. Damon is the RBI leader for the Tampa Bay Rays this season and has 6 career grand slams. Chased one. Narveson gets ahead of him.
Yeah, good cutter off the corner and a defensive swing by Damon. Yeah, the corners are even with the bag with Damon up there at the plate. Maybe anticipating perhaps a bunt. I doubt it. Not sure why Prince isn't back behind the runner. Cover a little bit more ground.
Another swing and a miss. No balls and 2 strikes on Damon. You see where the Brewers line up defensively in this sequence.
Yeah, get Prince back a little bit further. He's able to maybe cut off a ball in the hole over there, but even at the bag, not sure why. Maybe the ground ball, they're going to go home first. But to really minimize your range when you have your corner infielders in even with the bag.
Looks like the Brewers will turn 2 up the middle, maybe at third base on a ground ball. Fielder looks like he's ready to come to the plate. The 0-2 pitch. Bouncing ball to Prince, and he bobbles. He throws to the plate in time for the out. Damon hit it right where he was standing. If he picks it clean and gets off a good strong throw, the Brewers have a shot maybe at turning 2.
Yeah, Damon used to be very fast, not so much anymore, but a good quick throw to home plate might have had a chance at first base. Well, there's your answer why Prince is even at the bag. Give him the best opportunity on a ground ball to throw him out. If he's back behind the runner and he bobbles that baseball, he doesn't have a chance for the plate. A good decision, it turns out. Now that ball's a little bit either way on either side of Prince. It's not so much of a good decision.
And now Zobrist, a line drive to Betancourt. And Chris Narveson pulls a Houdini, gets out of a bases loaded, nobody out jam. And for the first time tonight, this crowd gives a big roar. See if it'll carry over to the bottom of the 5th. 1-0 Rays. Brewers coming up. This is the kind of game the Tampa Bay Rays are accustomed to. Low scoring, well pitched. 1-0 is our score as Jeff Neiman at this point has outpitched Chris Narveson, but Narveson, Rock, getting out of a major league jam in the top of the 5th inning.
Yeah, Johnny Damon on a 0-2 pitch. He smashed one right at Prince, who was even with the bag, even after bobbling it, able to make the play. And fortunate direction of the baseball is hit by the top of the Tampa Bay batting order.
Zobrist lines out to Betancourt to end the inning. Got the line drive out to even up. Jonathan Lucroy leads off. He walked against Neiman in the 2nd inning. Brewers put 2 men aboard in the 2nd with 2 outs. That's the biggest rally they've been able to drum up against the big right-hander Neiman, returning from the disabled list. It's a very quiet crowd at Miller Park, waiting for something to happen offensively. Tampa Bay has been able to keep them out of it through the first 4+ innings.
And one thing that Brewer fans have learned here at Miller Park: don't leave early. Exciting things seem to happen late in games here at Miller Park with the Brewers.
Lucroy took a pitch ball off the shoulder earlier. Kind of wincing a little bit between pitches. Catchers are used to it. That's why they call them the tools of ignorance. Who would ever want to catch?
I'll tell you who normally wants to catch: guys that can't hit all that well, I guess. My father told me when I was getting ready to play baseball, said that son, if you're a catcher, you always find a spot for you.
Fastest way to the big leagues for a position player.
Of course, if you can't hit, you're not going to get to the big leagues. I'm not talking about big league catchers.
You mean just
in general?
In general, like
young kids,
sandlot catching.
Right.
Usually, it was the only kid who had a catcher's mitt got to catch.
Being able to hit is a bonus. Not too many kids want to catch these days. It's not the glamorous position that they're looking for.
Only great leaders want to catch, right, Rock?
That's right. A lot of managers, broadcasters.
The 2-2. Lucroy takes a strike. He knew it. And down he goes. Neiman with his 3rd strikeout. Let's get back to our AT&T trivia question tonight. Who are the 3 MLB teams that have never won a game at Miller Park? Tampa Bay, their first game here. Oakland has never been here. The Athletics never played at this ballpark. Toronto was in a few years ago, and the Brewers swept the Blue Jays. So there's your answer. 3 teams never to win a game at Miller Park. Narveson, a little flare. Damon was in, and he'll make the catch for the out, 2 away.
The other thing about catching, the way some of these guys, as big and strong as they are, hard as they hit the baseball, sometimes being behind them is the safest spot on the field. The way they can hit. I'll tell you, pitchers as close as they are, I'll tell you, I'm not surprised they don't get drilled more often. That's the most dangerous spot on the field, not catcher.
Now 2 quick outs. Neiman is cruising along here. He is in the rocking chair right now. The Brewers need a spark offensively. Ricky Weeks has 2 of the 3 Milwaukee hits. Neither one of them hit all that hard. He flared one into right field for a single in the 1st, and knocked one through the hole between 1st and 2nd in the 3rd inning. A 2-hopper. That's pretty efficient, huh? Coming off a 5-pitch inning. Pitch number 10 of the 5th inning. And a broken bat bouncer. Johnson makes the play, and Neiman is through 5. He is twirling a dandy tonight. 1-0 Rays. We go to the 6th. A lot of these this year. And we head to the 6th inning. Evan Longoria will lead off. Perennial All-Star, Gold Glover, 2008 American League Rookie of the Year, Evan Longoria. He has 2 Gold Gloves now. He also won the Silver Slugger Award in 2009, given to the best hitter at that position in the American League. And Rock, that's saying a lot with the kind of third baseman that play in the American League.
Yeah, a big guy that has a lot of power and is the heart and soul of this offense. And one of the reasons why this Rays ball club really hasn't been scoring the runs that they had expected to score. He was on a disabled list, hasn't gotten it going. So when you figure Longoria starts to hit, Rays are going to be a very tough opponent.
Easy play for Casey McGee. Evan Longoria is 0 for 3 against Narveson tonight. Has hardly been noticed at this point. Now we'll see how Narveson comes back. Had an arduous inning in the 5th, but was able to get out of a mess. He had the bases loaded with nobody out. Had the good fortune of facing the pitcher with the bases loaded, nobody out. But he retired Neiman, Damon, and Zobrist to end the inning. Keep it at a 1-0 deficit for Milwaukee at this point. Upton takes a strike. The big question with the Rays, are they going to hit enough to make a run this season? They joined the Yankees, the 2 teams from the American League East, into the postseason a year ago. Remember, the Rays won the division last year. The Yankees were the wild card team. Rays were ousted by the Texas Rangers, the eventual American League champions.
Well, Joe Madden has had to find different ways to score runs. They're missing 2 big components from their offense from a year ago, Carl Crawford and Carlos Pena. That's a lot of offense to have to make up for. And so far, he's not been able to find it.
A team that won 96 games last year. They were 30 games over 500 a season ago. As Narveson strikes out B.J. Upton, and he's barking on his way out.
Yeah, on Saturday, bring your Miller High Life bottle caps to any Miller Park gate. The more collected, the more High Life experiences will be given to returning soldiers through the IAVA. Visit MillerHighLife.com for information.
2 outs for Narveson. Here's Sean Rodriguez. This is a player that both of these managers know well. Madden, of course, managing Rodriguez in Tampa Bay, but had him first with the Angels. Didn't know much about him then, coming up through the minor league system. Rodriguez came to Tampa Bay in a trade for Scott Kazmir, a trade that has not worked out for the Angels. Kazmir just cannot get healthy. Renicky knows Sean Rodriguez very well. Told me today Rodriguez is a guy that has a little pop in his bat. He has just 3 home runs, but swings about as hard as anyone.
And that's something you want to see out of one of your middle infielders. It's more of a make contact, get on base and run type position. Ordinarily in the middle of the infield, Ricky Weeks is an exception to that rule.
Left field, that is going to get down, a base hit. Rodriguez singles.
Nothing wrong with that hack. That breaking ball that stayed up in the middle of the plate. Rodriguez able to wait back and hook it into left field. Anytime you leave a breaking ball up in the zone, it's never going to end well, and Rodriguez able to line that one into left field.
Son of a longtime baseball man, Johnny Rodriguez. Close play at first base. Rodriguez just back. Sean's dad, Johnny, is a minor league manager in the Cardinals organization. Manages in the Midwest League, Quad Cities. So if you're up there in Appleton watching the T-Rats, you might see Sean's dad manage the Cardinals Midwest League affiliate.
Well, let's see if Rodriguez tries to steal a base here with 2 outs. Kotchman, not a big power threat ordinarily.
Big cut and a miss. Sean Rodriguez with 4 steals this year. Been caught twice. Narveson with 2 outs. He's given up just 1 run. It came in the first inning on a fielder's choice from Upton. Kotchman has been a big surprise for the Rays this year offensively. He has long been known as one of the best defensive first basemen in baseball.
Has not committed an error this year. This is his 58th game.
He's already made a couple of nice picks over at first base tonight. But he had an eye surgery, had an eye procedure done that cleared up his vision. He's been playing with poor vision the last few years. Not blurry vision, but cloudy vision, as they say. And it's fixed, and he's showing a ton of improvement at the plate. He's hitting .345 this year coming into play. As one of the 3 Rays hits here tonight.
It's one of the prerequisites to being able to hit. See it.
Remember, Brian McCann had all those problems with his vision, whether he was going to wear the glasses or not. For Kotchman, it just kind of kept lingering, and you know, when you go through it every day, you're not sure the extent of it. Finally had it fixed, and he has been a big hit for the Tampa Bay Rays, playing every day at first base. 1-2 the count with 2 away. In the air, center field. Morgan eases back. A lazy fly ball. And the inning is over. Narveson through 6. His offense needs to get it going for him. By the Wisconsin Lottery, reminding you to please play responsibly. By Airtran, go, there's nothing stopping you. And by the Miller Lite Vortex bottle, taste greatness.
I think it's always a little tougher when you've never faced a guy, you know, whether it's patterns or knowing the movement on his fastball, the movement of his slider, how easy it is to pick up his slider or curveball. A lot of those things come into play. Obviously, it's a lot easier to face somebody that you faced 3 or 4 times.
Well, you get a sense of what he throws, when he wants to throw it. Coming in, of the players that are in the starting lineup, 0 for 9 against Neiman. The Sausages can get in, but they cannot get out.
That's what they feel like in the grill.
And another very poor performance by the Bratwurst. He's only got 1 win this year.
It was interesting watching the Tampa Bay Rays players, even their manager Joe Madden, enjoying the sausage races for the first time, many of whom have never seen it before. Madden was laughing up a storm between innings. Back to business now. Nigel Morgan squares to bunt, takes a strike. Neiman just threw his 50th pitch. And he is working here in the 6th inning. Averaging fewer than 10 pitches per inning. As Morgan bounces one foul, it's quickly 0-2.
Well, he only had 7 walks coming in 31 1/3 innings. Not many walks, not many strikeouts for Neiman.
Nigel Morgan looking for some love from the Sausages.
These guys are too focused. They're not going to be able to high five during a race.
Wouldn't surprise me to see Morgan in one of those costumes at some point. And he hits him. Morgan drilled by a Neiman pitch. Wait a minute. Bob Davidson is bringing him back, saying he leaned into it. Bob Davidson saying Morgan did not get out of the way, and Ron Renneke is livid.
Well, unless it was over the plate, it's going to be a ball. It'll be a 1-2 count. And Bob Davidson's always been one to see things a little bit differently than everybody else sees. How often do you ever see that called, unless it's blatantly obvious? But Bob Davidson, let's check it out. That's a terrible call. That's brutal. I mean, what are you looking at? He's turning away. He's turning away from the pitch and ends up hitting him in the shoulder, and that's just flat out brutal. There's no excuse to make that call unless he just leans his arm out there or his leg. I mean, it's got to be more obvious than that. Come on, Bob.
Well, it is a 1-ball, 2-strike count on Nigel Morgan. By the way, you still call the pitch. We had a conversation with Bruce Fremming about this just the other day, as a matter of fact. You call the pitch a ball or a strike, and because it was out of the strike zone, it is called a ball, even though Morgan doesn't get first base.
I mean, Nigel Morgan was spinning out of the way of that baseball. He made a move to avoid the baseball. He did not any part of his body go toward home plate to try and intentionally get hit with that baseball. If he did, it wouldn't have counted as a hit batter, but that just didn't happen. It's just a terrible call.
Let's see if Morgan can cash in on his own here. The 2-2, and he lays off. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Now, you tell me, is any part of Morgan's body going in toward home plate? No, it's not. And it's not even close.
Looking for something that isn't there. With a 3-2 pitch and a strikeout, Morgan is gone, and doing all he can to keep it quiet around Bob Davidson, who has about as quick of a hook as anyone.
Well, it looked like Morgan swung at a pitch out of the strike zone, and here's Bob Davidson putting his signature on this game.
Now he just threw him out. Bob Davidson just threw out Nigel Morgan, who's walking to the dugout, or did he? Was it Dale Swaim?
Dale Swaim's gone.
Okay, I beg your pardon.
And it was a brutal call. I mean, anybody other than Bob Davidson that saw that play would not have called that. And now he's going to probably end up throwing out Ron Renicky on a play that he botched.
Dale Swain was the one ejected. Ron Renicky still barking at Bob Davidson, and out he goes. His first ejection as a Brewer manager.
Yeah, you just would expect better than that from a major league umpire. As long as Bob Davidson's been around, that's just a terrible call. And now two guys have been ejected, Dale Swain and Ron Renicky.
You could read Ron Renicky's lips echoing what you just said. Now everybody in the ballpark is looking at you, talking to Bob Davidson.
I guess that's what his goal is, and he succeeded.
So the Brewers lose their manager and their hitting coach
over a call that was absolutely ridiculous.
Morgan out on a strikeout. And now Jerry Narron will take over the manager's duties as Corey Hart bangs one foul. Hart 0 for 2 against Neiman. Hart lined one into right field in the first inning with Weeks aboard, but he hit it right at Ben Zobrist. Made the catch just in front of the wall on the warning track. Milwaukee needs a big hit. They need something, some kind of spark offensively here. Crowd is already revved up after a coach and a manager ejected. I think the biggest challenge from here on out is to keep Nigel Morgan in this game, who showed pretty good composure. You know, he wanted to say something on the way out, and Bob Davidson was ready to run him.
Well, if somebody's going to get thrown out, it's got to be the coaches. I mean, the players, you have to stay in the ball game. I mean, they're going to make the biggest impact on the game. And
bouncing ball, base hit. Corey Hart with a single to left. Didn't hit it hard, but it finds a hole, and there is a base runner for Prince Fielder. And just like that, the Brewers bring the go-ahead run to the plate. Our Ho-Chunk Gaming text question: what does the manager do in the clubhouse when he gets ejected?
Yeah, watches the game on TV. That's what he does. Well, Dale Swain gets thrown out. Ron Renicky going out, not just to argue the call, but to protect his hitting coach. And there you go. Bob Davidson's hurt enough. He's the guy in control. You can't question me on a bad call. What are you doing? He'll take the rest of the night off.
Fielder goes. A strike on Prince Fielder. Remember, it was Bob Davidson who ejected a fan here at Miller Park last year. So he is not exactly a friendly umpire for Milwaukee fans to start with. But I noticed all the fans in the front row keeping very quiet at this point.
Yeah, they better
learn their lesson. You don't want to get tossed out of this game. It's too good. One ball, one strike. Fielder could give the Brewers the lead with a long one here, setting on 20 home runs for the season. And that one is high and tight. Fielder somehow avoided contact.
That's a good thing it didn't hit him, because Prince didn't make any effort to get out of the way. Up and in, not even close. I mean, Neiman has showed impeccable control all night, and that one right under the chin of Prince Fielder.
Now they're into it. Three balls and a strike on Fielder. Corey Hart at first with one away, and Fielder takes ball 4. Prince patiently draws the walk.
Boy, how much discipline does Prince Fielder have in that batter's box? You knew he wanted to hit that one into Lake Michigan. They change up and curveball, following up that chin music by Neiman, and he's able to stay patient enough and relaxed enough to lay off of it. Some kind of hitter, Prince Fielder.
The most pitches he has thrown in an inning tonight, and only 1 out. 2 men on base. Biggest threat the Brewers have had to score all night. They did have 2 on in the second inning, but that came with 2 away, and they were at the bottom of the order. Now McGee is up there. Hart at second, Fielder at first. Brewers down 1-0. And there's a strike to Casey McGee off speed. McGee drove in 7 runs on the recent road trip in 7 games. Had 8 hits on the road trip, was 8 for 28 with those 7 RBIs. He's been swinging the bat a lot better lately. Casey McGee could have easily had 10 or 12 RBIs in that stretch had it not been for a couple of great plays. One of them by Dustin Pedroia of the Red Sox.
And a couple of them in Chicago.
Big spot. 1 ball, 1 strike. One and 2. On a night when the Brewers are without Ryan Braun, an upper respiratory viral infection, a late scratch, a late change of the batting order, bumping hard into the 3-hole, and Kotze hitting behind McGee tonight. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The Rays are looking for a double play ball to get out of the inning. And McGee fouls it away. Got a fastball from Neiman. Kotze on deck.
Back-to-back fastballs to Casey McGee. Well, the split-fingered fastball has been a good pitch for Neiman. And he's been throwing it with 2 strikes to right-handers.
Outfield is deep. A base hit should score Hart from second. We'll do it again. Another 1-2 offering from Neiman. And McGee takes a ball. A bender just missed. Looked like a pretty good pitch.
Man, tough pitch to take. That big curveball is tough to throw for a strike. But you get a lot of pitches down in the dirt that get swings because it has such a big break.
Two and 2. Spoiled it foul. Too close to take. McGee checking his bat. This crowd has been quiet most of the night, but a call that went against the Brewers on Niger Morgan after he was hit by a pitch but pulled back by the home plate umpire. Eventually Neiman struck him out. A single and a walk. Hart and Fielder. 2 on for McGee. Had a good cut. Right on it, but just under it, and the count stays at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, good pitch to hit. 4-seamer right down the middle, and Casey fouled it straight back. 8th pitch of the at-bat coming up.
Casey McGee is at his best when he goes to the opposite field. His power is to right center. Sitting on 4 home runs this year, 31 driven in. And the 2-2. And a breaking ball in the dirt. Good take. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Well, now you wonder if Jerry Narron is going to put the runners in motion here with 1 out. Trusting McGee to take ball 4, putting in motion on a ground ball to stay out of a double play maybe.
Yeah, Casey's grounded into a bunch of double plays this year. 10 of them. Wouldn't be a bad move to send the runners.
Full count. Runner stayed put. McGee chops one foul. He's up there to hack, and he chased ball 4 with a Hassan chop.
Yeah, that ball about neck high.
Well, you'd say that's a bad idea, but we've seen McGee hit balls out of the ballpark on pitches in that location. Neiman, for the most part, staying away from Casey McGee. The 10th pitch of the at-bat. And he lost him. The bases are loaded. What an at-bat for Casey McGee. Back-to-back walks. Bases loaded with just 1 out for Kotsay.
Oh, what a battle for Casey McGee. A 10-pitch at bat ends up in a walk. Neiman got ahead early with a curveball for a strike. Back-to-back fastballs, the first of which was a very good pitch to hit for Casey McGee. He fouled off a couple of pitches, went back to the curveball, did Neiman. And after a couple of fastballs, there's a pitch right there that Casey would like to have back. Able to fight it off, laid off a tough curveball. And finally, after the at-bat that he tried to tomahawk out of there and then get the walk on a cut fastball.
Well, that was something. A great at-bat from McGee. Back-to-back walks, Fielder and McGee putting together terrific trips to the plate. Jim Hickey, the Rays pitching coach, a quick word, maybe if nothing else, just to give Neiman a breather after a long sequence against Casey McGee. And here is Mark Kotsay, the man who replaced Ryan Braun in the starting lineup, with a chance to do big damage here in the bottom of the 6th inning. If you're wondering, the Brewers do not have a grand slam this season yet. And a curveball strike. That has been Neiman's go-to pitch.
And he's been throwing the first pitch quite a bit. Little fog rolling into Miller Park.
Only adding to the drama of the moment. As much drama as you can have on June 20th. Bases loaded, 1 away. Kotsay fouls it away, got in on his hands. Kotsay and Betancourt, the only 2 hitters in the starting lineup tonight that had ever even seen Jeff Neiman. Kotsay had only seen him twice, just 2 at-bats. He walked, and neither one of them had a hit. Betancourt singled off Neiman in the 2nd inning. Kotsay still looking for his first hit against this pitcher. Won't take much to get Hardhome with a tying run. Anything in the air to the outfield should be able to score him. Anything hit to left field, the Brewers will be very aggressive trying to score a run with Johnny Damon in left.
And he's very shallow out there in left field. Kotsay get one into that gap. It's going to take a while for him to get there.
1 ball, 2 strikes. And a called strike 3. A backdoor breaking ball from Neiman. And a big out for the big right-hander.
Yeah, supposed to be in, but it looked like a pretty good pitch on the outside corner. Brewers are not going to get anything close with Bob Davidson tonight.
That is a huge out. 2nd out of the inning. Kotsay leaving 3 out there, and now counting on Betancourt to deliver with 2 away. Betancourt has hit the ball hard twice. Single to left, had a line drive snared by Longoria back in the 4th inning. Cesar Ramos, the left-hander. But right now, this is Neiman's game. Betancourt, he's been looking for a big moment all year for the Brewers offensively. And it's a ball and a strike. Remember, Jeff Neiman, through the first 5 innings, 49 pitches. This will be his 34th here in the 6th. Bases loaded, 2 outs, 1 ball, 1 strike on Betancourt. 2-1. Betancourt has had the best at-bats against Neiman tonight.
That base hitting a line out, and a great play by Longoria down the line.
And a strike. And the freest of the free swingers at the plate has now worked the count in his favor, 3-1. Popped him up on a 3-1 pitch. Betancourt sends one to right. Zobrist makes the catch, and Neiman is out of the inning. What an inning. Bob Davidson right in the spotlight. Pulled Niger Morgan back. Throws out the hitting coach Dale Swain. Tosses the manager, and the Brewers come up empty.
Our Toyota game summary. B.J. Upton beating out the back end of this double play. That would score Johnny Damon the only run of the game. Jeff Neiman just off a long stint on the DL, pitching very well. 6 scoreless innings so far, worked out of that bases loaded jam in the 6th. But Chris Narveson, a strong outing, 6 strikeouts, giving up just 3 hits. But guys, the Rays have manufactured a run. They've made the most of it.
Well, both teams have stranded the bases loaded in this game. The Rays did it with bases loaded and nobody out in the 5th inning. The Brewers doing it with bases loaded, 1 out. Kotze strikes out looking. Betancourt on a 3-1 pitch flies out to right. And it's still 1-0 Tampa Bay. Narveson has pitched a beauty tonight. He's given up just 3 hits. As Mark mentioned, that bunt single in the first. Gave up a single to Casey Kochman in the 5th inning, and Sean Rodriguez a clean single to left in the 6th. That's been it. 3 singles against Narveson. Bottom of the order coming up. Shopik, Johnson, and the pitcher spot. And if nothing else, the Brewers put a heavy workload on Neiman in the 6th inning.
Man, you got to figure he's going to be done. That was a lot of pitches in the 6th, almost as many in the 6th as he had in the entire game before that. An unfortunate call on Nigel Morgan. Would have been a run for the Brewers, having, assuming that everything would have played out the same.
And Morgan hit by a pitch, called back. Bob Davidson said he leaned into it. Replay showed he clearly did not. But the Brewers had their chances, though. They had bases loaded and 1 away and couldn't get them in.
And the problem then you have is, after the game, the writers are going to go to Nigel Morgan and get his comments. They're going to go to Dale. They're going to go to Renicky. Everybody's going to be able to weigh in, but nobody's allowed to talk to the umpire. Bob Davidson will be completely isolated from the whole situation and not have to explain what he saw.
So Shopik draws the walk. Narveson putting a leadoff base runner aboard. He walked the leadoff man in the 1st inning. Johnny Damon, he came around to score. Gave up a leadoff single in the 5th inning. That was the inning he stranded the bases loaded. Elliott Johnson. Up there to bunt. Gets down a good one. Narveson, his only play is first base. A sacrifice bunt for Johnson. And Shopik advances to second. Our Miller Lite, what's on tap? The Brewers and the Rays tomorrow. They'll do it again. 6:30 is airtime for tomorrow's game. We're here on Fox Sports Wisconsin. Pitching matchup tomorrow will be Zach Greinke against Jeremy Hellickson, who is having a terrific rookie season for the Rays. Wednesday, not on television. Final game of the series, Sean Markham against David Price. And then the Brewers will take a team off day Thursday. Friday, the Twins come to town. So Neiman will be pinch hit for. Justin Ruggiano batting for Tampa Bay. Neiman out after 6 shutout innings in his first start back off the disabled list.
Yeah, Ruggiano, the only right-handed batter on Joe Maddon's bench. And nothing but left-handers, with Chris Narveson starting this one tonight.
Rays with a runner at second in scoring position. But their catcher, Kelly Shopik, not a fast runner. So a base hit, not a guarantee to score a run. Three balls, no strikes on the pinch hitter. Ruggiano hitting .327. Has 3 home runs, 9 runs batted in this season. See Tim Dillard loosening for the Brewers. Line drive, base hit down the line. This is going to get a run home. Over to cut it off Kotze. Shopik will score the run on a pinch hit double. And the Rays have added to their lead. It is now 2-0.
Well, it looked like something middle speed that stayed in the middle part of the plate, up in the zone, and on a 3-1 count. Yep, cut fastball that stayed out away from Ruggiano, and he just able to get it out of the reach of Casey and down the left field line. So Ruggiano trades places with Shopik. Still only 1 out.
Back to the top of the order, Johnny Damon. Well, Jeff Neiman has seen his lead double as Rick Kranitz is on his way to the mound. Narveson's pitch count at 93 right now.
It might be his last hitter. We got the switch hitter on deck, Zobrist, and then 3 right-handed batters.
A walk, a sac bunt, and a pinch hit RBI single. And the Rays lead 2-0. Looking ahead to the bottom of the 7th inning, the Brewers will have Lucroy, then the pitcher spot. Then back to the top of the order. Johnny Damon out to second base. Ricky Weeks makes the play for out number 2. That had some funny spin on it. Well, former Badger J.J. Watt is one of a group of NFL players training at Waukesha's NX Level Gym. Log on to foxsportswisconsin.com to read why he's working hard and sticking to a regimen that will prepare him for the next step. Read that story and much more right now, foxsportswisconsin.com. Great story by Mark Concanon about Mark Kotze and his College World Series fame. foxsportswisconsin.com as well. Two-men are out. Here is Ben Zobrist. Zobrist was at the plate in the 5th with the bases loaded, and he lined out to short to end the inning. Got a bunt single in the 1st. He's 1 out of 3. A little changeup for a strike. Good pitch. 1-2 the count to the former All-Star Ben Zobrist. Made the All-Star team as a utility man in 2009.
And he's only played 2 positions this year. He's usually a guy that's going to play all over the place, probably 4 or 5 different positions throughout the year. That still could be the case. It's only mid-June.
Versatile on both sides.
Yeah.
Play the outfield, play the infield. Usually you see him at second base and right field. He's also a switch hitter.
And pretty good from both sides of the plate. The splits as far as batting average goes pretty even. And more home runs and RBIs as a left-handed hitter because he faces more right-handed batters than left.
All right. Foul tip in and out of the glove of Lucroy. Almost got him with that breaking ball. There is tomorrow's starter, Zach Greinke, looking for a bounce back after a rough outing against the Chicago Cubs. Greinke still 6-2, but an ERA of 5.23. The 1-2 fouled it away. Zobrist hanging tough. And now Narveson at an even 100 pitches. The Brewers playing a man short on their bench tonight. Ryan Braun not available, out with an illness. That one is hit well deep left center field. That is big trouble. It's going to bounce off the wall. Another run will score as Zobrist into second with an RBI double. Comes with 2 strikes and 2 outs in the 7th inning, and the Rays lead 3-0.
Yeah, left another one up in the zone. He got a pitch up to Ruggiano. He doubled down the line and left. Got that one up to Zobrist, and he pounded it into center field.
Now the Brewers were hoping to get Narveson through this inning with his spot coming up second. Not to be, though.
That's that cut fastball. Cutter up, out over the plate. It was a cutter that Ruggiano got for an RBI, and a cutter for Ben Zobrist to drive in another run with 2 outs.
So Narveson is out. He leaves down 3-0. Runner at second with 2 away. A pitching change at Miller Park. In MLB All-Star Game history are going head-to-head to determine which is the most memorable of all time. Go to MLB.com/moments and vote now for your favorite Midsummer Classics, and tune into the 2011 MLB All-Star Game Tuesday, July 12th, 7 Central on Fox to find out who won. Under the lights of Miller Park, the roof is open tonight, a cool Monday night. The Rays have just plated 2 runs. And now Tim Dillard on the pitch, his 11th appearance facing Evan Longoria. And strike 1 to Longoria.
Now very effective against the right-handed batters. Last pitched on Friday against the Red Sox. Gave up a run in 2 innings. Punched out 3.
Dillard trying to get the Brewers to the dugout. Trailing by only 3. Zobrist with that double, driving in the 3rd run. Narveson exits with 6 2/3 and 3 runs at this point. By the way, that double for Ben Zobrist, the 24th double of the year for him, it ties him with Adrian Gonzalez for the top spot of the American League. And a line drive, base hit. That's going to fall. Zobrist around 3rd. He'll score. Longoria right off the end of the bat makes it 4-0 Tampa Bay.
Well, didn't hit it all that well, but you can see that slider's got a little bit too much of the plate with 2 strikes. Longoria, big and tall, able to reach out and just hook it off the end of the bat and dump it into center.
3 runs are in for the Rays. 4-0. Still 2 outs. And it'll be B.J. Upton.
And that big inning biting Chris Narveson once again. That's amazing. I mean, Narveson cruising through 6 innings. He had his problems throughout the night. From time to time, he had a rough 5th, gave up a run in the 1st inning for only the 2nd time this year, by the way. Narveson has been very good in the 1st inning. But a 3-run 7th.
All of those runs belonging to Narveson. He finishes with 6 2/3 innings and 4 earnings. And on the hook for the loss.
And both of the innings in which he gave up runs started with a walk. You can see he's upset with himself, and perhaps because of the walk that started out.
That gets away from Lucroy, and Longoria will end up at second base. So another runner in scoring position for the Rays. Boy, how things can turn. The Brewers with the bases loaded, 1 out, and a chance to tie it or take the lead, looking for a big inning. Somehow Neiman gets out of it. He strikes out Kotze, gets Betancourt to fly out. And the Rays have answered with 3 of their own in the 7th. Upton a little flare, shallow right. That's going to fall, and running with 2 outs is Longoria. He'll score. 5-0 Tampa Bay. 2 into the bat run producing hits for the Rays.
Fastball away from B.J. Upton, but he's able to stay on it long enough to just dump it out of the reach of Ricky. Well, the wild pitch ends up costing the Brewers another run. Well, the Rays started this inning 0 for 5 or 0 for 6 with runners in scoring position. They've got 4 hits in 5 at bats with runners in scoring position in this inning.
The Brewers have seen their fair share of big innings lately. And the Rays putting one on here in the 7th. 4 runs are in. 3 consecutive 2-out hits producing runs. Little tapper, and they're going to make sure that one stays foul. RBIs in this inning from Ruggiano, Zobrist, Longoria, and Upton.
Yeah, things can happen very quickly. Chris Narveson thinking to himself, what happened in that inning? It was 1-0 going into the 7th.
Jerry Narron managing the club, the bench coach, Dale Swaim the hitting coach, and the manager Ron Renicky both ejected last inning in the bottom of the 6th. And that hits Rodriguez. And fans are asking Bob Davidson to call him back.
Well, Bob Davidson didn't give up 4 runs in this inning. You can't blame him. Might have cost the Brewers 1 in the bottom of the 6th, but it had nothing to do with these 4 runs, and that one behind Rodriguez.
Fans in the background having some fun at the umpire's expense. So the 9th batter of the inning, Casey Kotchman. Kotchman had a hit in the 5th inning. He's 1 out of 3. Slices that one foul. Yesterday, Kotchman had a double. Proved to be the game winner for Tampa Bay as they swept the Florida Marlins. As the fog rolls in. Tampa Bay won 2-1 yesterday. They played a ton of 1-run games. Kotchman bounces one to Prince, and no chance to get an out. So the bases are loaded, and this inning keeps going. That'll be an error on Fielder. Second error of the game.
Yep. Casey McGee was charged with an error back in the 5th inning. Good pitch in on Casey Kotchman. He tries his best to pull the hands in and get the barrel on it, but Prince with the in-between hop and just can't keep it close enough, and the inning continues.
4th error for Fielder. And the man who started all of this, Kelly Shopik, back at the plate. Led off this inning with a walk. 4 runs are in. For the second time tonight, the Rays have the bases loaded. Fielder's there. He'll take it himself. And a nightmare inning finally ends. Tampa Bay gets 4. The Brewers have a long way to go now. It's 5-0 Rays. We go to the bottom of the 7th.
We get set for Brewers Live postgame. One of the things we're going to be talking about, Jerry, the momentum swing. Bottom of the 6th to the top of the 7th. Brewers set up, 1 down, bases loaded, can't score in the 6th, and then give up 4 here in the 7th.
Yeah, it was. No question about it. The Brewers had a golden opportunity in the 6th inning. 7th inning come out. Tampa Bay does what it does best. They go out and manufacture runs. Gotten some key base hits. Now they got the 5-run lead.
All right, we'll see what they can do the rest of the way here. Also, a special guest, Larry Schaefer, who signed a contract for a day with the Brewers today. Going to be on your instructional with you and Rock.
He's going to be excited. He's going to be to the whole show. I know he's going to have fun.
Now, is he going to teach you, or are you going to teach him?
I think he wants to teach us, so we'll just have to, Rock and I will just have to go out there and see what happens.
All right, we'll get set for Plan B, Rock, just in case.
I'm ready. I'll be ready. Now, maybe he can explain that call by Bob Davidson. Yeah, Larry's, I'm sure, seen it before.
J.P. Howell on the pitch for Tampa Bay. His 11th appearance of the year. Ruggiano stays in the game to play left field. Johnny Damon is out. Well, the Brewers have some time here. They have 9 outs to work with. 5 runs not insurmountable. Ruggiano had that pinch hit RBI single that started the scoring. Had to be one of the softest 4-run rallies you might see in the big leagues. But it counted. A lot of end of bats. It went for hits as Lucroy lifts one deep center field. Back is up and still going back, and it's gone. Jonathan Lucroy gets him on their feet. His 7th home run of the year. And the Brewers are finally on the board here in the 7th inning.
Well, maybe finally shaking off the effects of the knuckleball syndrome that they had yesterday. You know, talked about Tim Wakefield and what that knuckleball can do to an offense. They got a fastball out away from, and Jonathan goes right with it. Hits it deep into center field. His first June home run.
Lucroy safe at home, safe and secure. New York life.
And last home run for Lou came the last day of May. That was at Cincinnati.
So Lucroy now 7 homers, 32 runs batted in. The Brewers are on the board. Josh Wilson pinch hitting. Well, we'll see if that gives him a spark. You make a good point about the post Wakefield knuckleball syndrome. As Wilson lifts one left center. Upton runs it down for the out. I think Ron Renicky talked about that yesterday prior to the game, about the carryover effect facing a knuckleballer can have on a ball club.
Yeah, it's just a different approach, a different way of going about each and every one of your at-bats. It's very frustrating up there at the plate against a knuckleballer, particularly when you have a knuckleballer like Wakefield, who was outstanding yesterday. That ball floating all over the place. Well, we'll see. Brewers have not done much offensively here today.
See Mark DeFelice in the bullpen. Back to the top of the order, Ricky Weeks. And at the plate, presented by Wendy's, Ricky with 2 singles off Jeff Neiman, who exited this game after 6 innings and only 4 hits. Weeks had half of them. 2 for 3 tonight. Trying to get it started for the rest of the top of this order. He goes, says Hunter Wendelstedt, and it's 0-2 on Weeks.
It's a pretty good curveball by Howe, and it looked like Ricky went.
Nigel Morgan waiting to hit next. And then Corey Hart. You'd love to give Fielder a swat at J.P. Howe with some men on base.
We'll be talking about this Rays pitching staff quite a bit, and in particularly how good the starters have been, but the relievers have a 3.31 earned run average, which is very good. And they had only allowed before today's game 141 hits in almost 180 innings. I mean, that's dominating type pitching out of your bullpen. It's almost 40 less hits than innings pitched from your relievers.
Kyle Farnsworth closing games for Tampa Bay. They got a complete game from James Shields yesterday, so they are well rested. As Howe misses, and now the count goes to 3-2. J.P. Howe missed all of last season with a shoulder injury that required season-ending shoulder surgery. Madden trying to sneak him through this inning. The 3-2. Weeks takes ball 4. So a 1-out walk. And that is going to bring Nigel Morgan to the plate. There is Joel Peralta, who has essentially been in Madden's setup role this year. It's going to be enticing for Madden if the Brewers keep going here to have Howe face Fielder, but I can't imagine if Fielder bats that Howe would be around that much longer. That would be at least one more base runner. Well, we'll see. Nigel Morgan takes a strike.
No, and that's why Ron Renicky has his left-hander staggered like he does. He's got right, left, all the way down to Betancourt, making it tough for those matchups late in the game.
Well, it was Morgan, his last time up, who was hit by a pitch leading off the 6th inning. Bob Davidson said he did not try to get out of the way, actually leaned into it. Morgan ended up striking out. Dale Swain got ejected, the hitting coach, and then Ron Renicky was tossed.
Well, I guess we've said all we need to say about that call.
Bouncer to second. Rodriguez flips to Johnson. The throw to first in time. And the 1-out walk wiped out. A double play for the Rays, but Jonathan Lucroy puts the Brewers on the board for the first time. A home run to deep center field. 5-1 Tampa Bay.
Milwaukee for Game 2 against the Rays outside of Miller Park. It will be very active with showers and thunderstorms and first pitch temperatures in the low 70s.
Well, the roof opened tonight. They were calling for thunder showers today in Milwaukee, but so far so good. Matter of fact, as we look up there at this very moment, they are closing the roof. Now we squeezed in 7 innings of roofless baseball here tonight. Mark DeFelice is the new pitcher. Pitched yesterday in Boston when an inning, gave up a run. And his second appearance since his return. Missed all of last season with shoulder surgery. A long, hard-fought way back for Mark DeFelice. And back in a Brewers uniform at home for the first time as Elliott Johnson squares to bunt, bunts it foul.
Well, pitched very well down in the minor leagues. AAA Nashville, 17 games at .217 earned run average. Struck out 31 batters in 29 innings. His last 3 appearances in AAA came as a starter. Gave up 3 earned runs in 13 in the 3rd inning. So DeFelice throwing well. Daniel Herrera was sent out. He did not fare all that well in 2 appearances, the left-hander, and DeFelice takes over here tonight.
DeFelice is a guy that can give you more than 1 inning. He had been starting in the minor leagues. As Johnson lifts one in the air out to Kotze. And DeFelice has 1 out here in the 8th. Closing her up. Must be some rain coming in, Rock. Did you bring your umbrella?
About time it's rained around here.
We need it, don't we? Man, oh man. They're starting to line up 2 by 2.
Man. Something else.
Big cut and a miss from Ruggiano.
And of course, as we always say, it could be a lot worse. There's folks around the world that have had much worse weather than we've had. So I guess we shouldn't complain too much.
All we're asking for is sunny and 70. Is that too much to ask? After a harsh winter?
No, not really. Maybe 2 days anyway. It didn't have to be too extended. First day of summer tomorrow, right?
That's what they say. Well, calling for some sunshine for the weekend. The Minnesota Twins coming to town this weekend. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday begins the first of a home-and-home interleague series with Minnesota. Going to be a tough stretch for the Brewers. They certainly know what's ahead of them. 5 consecutive series against the American League. This is series number 2. They dropped the first series 2 out of 3 to Boston at Fenway. In the air, high fly ball to right field. And Hart will make the catch for out number 2. Pitcher spot due up. Sam Fuld will come off the bench. The human highlight reel defensively for the Rays this year. Getting a chance to pinch hit with 2 away. Former Cub traded to Tampa Bay in the Matt Garza deal.
Yeah, he made 2 pretty good catches in yesterday's game, didn't he? Out in left field.
He has racked up a career's worth of diving catches.
Man.
Kind of fitting in the Tampa Bay Rays wheel right now as the 4th outfielder. Yesterday, part of a 3-game sweep of the Florida Marlins. Full extension on the turf in St. Pete.
Which one do you like better?
That's a tough call.
Well, that one, that first one that he dove onto the warning track, I'd say maybe a double or a triple. The second one saved a single.
And he walks.
If that means anything to you.
Well, maybe on the Fuld meter, the best of all time, the backhanded dive up against the wall against the White Sox. I mean, that's about as good as it gets for an outfielder. Sam Fuld.
Yeah.
They have fitted him with a cape in St. Pete this year. DeFelice facing Zobrist now. Switch hitter turns around, hits left-handed against DeFelice. Zobrist, the last hitter that Narveson faced, he ripped one into the gap in left center for an RBI double. Tied with Adrian Gonzalez for the most doubles in the American League after that double back in the 7th. Brewers can't afford to let in any more runs. A 5-1 Rays lead. The Brewers will have Hart, Fielder, and McGee coming up in the 8th inning. We go full extension.
No, the one on the left, that last one that we saw, that was incredible. I mean, they're all very good plays, but that last one, the one on the left, that's an unbelievable catch.
That's full-blown Superman.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, DeFelice has lost the strike zone here. The Harley's not moving. The panels are moving. Well, if you're looking for some offense, this is the right kind of climate with the panels closed up and the roof closed up. Get a little heat circulating in this building. Three and 0 to Zobrist. Fuld takes off. A strike. Throw to second. Hits Fuld. So a stolen base number 15 for Sam Fuld.
I think it's not often you're going to see a guy take off on a 3-0 pitch. 3-1, 3-2, absolutely, but 3-0, wow. And a good throw by Jonathan, and Luke. I should say Betancourt never got a glove on it. That one hit Fuld and ended up carrying over towards shortstop. Good throw by Jonathan, though.
Well, now runner in scoring position for Zobrist. And a hitter's count. The 3-1 is in there, strike 2.
I guess one thing you could say about running on a 3-0 pitch, you don't have any risk of a pitch out.
Full count with 2 away. Zobrist with 2 hits tonight. And he lost him. Back-to-back walks issued by DeFelice. And the Rays putting up another threat with 2 away. Tampa Bay had 5 consecutive base runners with 2 outs last inning. Had 3 straight hits with 2 outs, all producing runs. Then there was a walk and an error. Brewers have committed 2 errors tonight from the corners, McGee and Fielder. Longoria with an RBI single in that 7th inning right off the end of the bat. And that one's hit deep to left. Back goes Kotze at the track. It is going to be up and out of here. A home run for Evan Longoria. And the Rays have opened it in the 8th inning. His 6th home run of the season. A 3-run home run for Longoria. And it's 8-1 Tampa Bay.
Well, 2 outs, nobody on, back-to-back walks, and then you get to the number 3 spot in the order. Get behind him, fastball, see you later. Well, Longoria did not miss that one on a 2-0 pitch, right down the middle.
Well, and all of a sudden, this Brewers pitching staff, which has been so good all season, giving up big runs. Boston with 10 on Friday night. The Cubs scored 12 runs on 14 hits on Thursday. 10 runs Friday. Yesterday, the Red Sox scoring 12 runs. Upton takes a called strike 3 and the inning is over. But big damage. Evan Longoria, a 3-run home run makes it 8-1 Tampa Bay. 3 runs in the 8th inning on a 3-run homer by Evan Longoria, and apparently Joe Madden thinks this one is out of reach for now because Sam Fuld is pitching for Tampa Bay.
Wow. Not sure what to say about Sam Fuld on the mound, and
or not.
I guess they didn't have anybody ready,
so we'll have a pitching change. I'm glad that didn't go down.
Yeah.
So Sam Fuld was just out there to get his warm-ups in. Now Joe Madden will take him out, and we'll bring on a normal pitcher who gets a little extra time to get loose. We'll take a break. To get in the game, but not to be. Joe Madden just trying to buy a little extra time to get his left-hander ready. Cesar Ramos, and Ramos is on. He'll work the 8th. The Brewers trailing the Tampa Bay Rays 8-1.
Man, one of 3 rookies on this ball club. Ramos in that San Diego trade on December 17th, involving Jason Bartlett, the shortstop for the Rays, went over to San Diego. He's all over the rookie pitcher statistics in Major League Baseball. On to a pretty good start to his Major League career.
Facing Corey Hart to start it. Prince Fielder to follow, then McGee. Rays have broken it open. They have scored 7 of their 8 runs in the last 2 innings.
I was wondering what was going on with that pitching move by Joe Madden, because there was a right-hander getting loose the entire inning that they were hitting. All of a sudden, Sam Fuld comes out of the dugout. A left-hander's getting loose in a hurry, and that's the only reason that Madden did that, just because that left-hander was not ready. Not sure why he wasn't throwing earlier. But Sam Fuld gave him enough time to get ready.
Well, Evan Longoria's home run gave the Rays the cushion, 3 more runs on the board, and then Upton struck out so fast. And Joe Madden, as you replay it, says, hey, I got to get my guy an extra shot here. He basically sat down his setup man and brings on Ramos here. Not a good night for the Brewers. Again, they have really struggled. A road trip, dropping 5 out of 7 games, giving up a ton of runs as well. That's what's concerning.
Well, you're going to go through stretches like that. Right now, the Brewers are having a rough time through this one stretch through the rotation, all starting with Gallardo's start. Or I should say the start on Thursday in Chicago. It has not been a good run for through the rotation right now.
Corey Hart draws a walk.
That was that Greinke start. He went 5 in the 3rd. Did not look very good. Gave up 8 runs, and except for Randy Wolf, it's been a struggle. And you just hope that Sean Markham's going to be okay. Things are looking good with Markham, though.
He was able to throw today. And the Brewers saying it would be up to the player to make that decision. So it'll be in Markham's hands whether he wants to pitch. He's going to do some fielding work tomorrow. He had to leave the game in Boston after 1 inning on Friday night with a left hip flexor strain.
Well, you know he wants to pitch. Whether he's going to be able to go out there and be effective, that's another issue. And only he knows that. But you know he wants to go out there, that's for sure. He's that kind of guy.
This has been a bullpen that hasn't been called on to pitch a lot of innings this season until the last turn through the rotation. Well, and where would the Brewers be without Randy Wolf's start in Boston on Saturday?
Right.
That was a big one. The lone win of that series against the Red Sox. Even Narveson's victory against the Cubs was a short start by his standards. So the bullpen has been called on quite a bit as Fielder was buzzed at the knees. That is the second time the Rays have gone inside on Fielder and brushed him back.
I haven't seen a lot of that, to Prince Fielder this year. Not nearly as much as we did last year. Now, the first one was up by Neiman. This one down around the shoe tops.
3 balls and a strike. And he takes one right down the middle.
That Prince has been hit by 8 pitches this year. That leads the club, but not on nearly as big a pace as he was last year.
Full count with Hart at first. And he lost him. Fielder draws the walk, his second walk. Piling up some base runners here. Back-to-back walks with a 7-run lead is Ramos.
Well, maybe he should have left Sam Fold out there. Sam might have been able to throw some strikes.
Stamborowski with a quick visit to the mound. And here is McGee with 2 aboard, nobody out.
And Jim Hickey's the pitching coach, and Borowski in the media guide his title is assistant to the pitching coach. Have you ever heard of such a thing?
I have not. Sounds like a good gig, though. It's kind of like my gig, like assistant to the analyst.
Yeah. Well, the one thing that is not listed in the media guide, and most teams have it, is there is a bench coach, Dave Martinez. I don't know. Assistant to the pitching coach went out and had a chat.
We'll see if McGee can do some damage here on Ramos. Two on, nobody out. And a 2-1 count. Well, you never know. Get some base runners here. Keep the wheels moving. Three balls and a strike. The most runs the Brewers have scored in an inning, 6. They did it in the 7th inning in Philadelphia. There's strike 2. Casey walked his last time up. That loaded the bases. Looked like a big inning was brewing for Milwaukee. They were trailing 1-0 at the time. Neiman got out of it though. A strikeout and a flyout. The Brewers stranded the bases full. They did not score, and then the Rays turned around and put 4 runs on the board in the 7th. Added 3 more with a 3-run homer by Longoria in the 8th.
Yeah, big time momentum for the Rays after Neiman able to get out of that 6th inning.
Milwaukee in a first place tie to start play today with the St. Louis Cardinals. Cardinals are off tonight after they took 2 out of 3 from the Kansas City Royals. Got a game-winning home run yesterday from Skip Schumacher. McGee, a bouncer, that's going to get through. A base hit, and Hart will be held as the throw comes in. Bases are loaded. Casey McGee with a single. So a little action here for the Brewers. Bases loaded, nobody out of the 8th inning, and Joe Maddon is on his way to the mound.
He's going to end up bringing in his setup man anyway. Tried to get Ramos through the 8th, couldn't do it. And Casey taking a low fastball down and in, sneaking it into left field, and with the Brewers down by 7 and nobody out, Ed Cedar not going to send Corey Hart home to home.
New pitcher. Standing out like a sore thumb right now, but the Brewers, despite being 7 down, they have put something together here in the 8th inning. The bases are loaded. They have forced Joe Maddon to go to his setup man, Joel Peralta, another former Angel who has found his way back to Joe Maddon in Tampa Bay. Peralta has been outstanding in a setup role for the Rays this year.
That leads the Rays in appearances out of the bullpen, 2-3 with a 3.34 earned run average. 27 punch outs in 35 innings of work.
Mark Kotsay, the batter. Kotsay would love a chance at a little redemption. He struck out looking in the 6th inning with the bases loaded. And again with an opportunity to drive in some runs. Kotsay is 0 for 3. He lined out in the 4th. Bounced out to first base in the 2nd inning. And it's a ball and a strike, and Kotsay is barking at Bob Davidson.
Yeah, don't do that.
Davidson has already ejected Ron Renicky, the manager, and Dale Swain, the hitting coach. 2-1. Katse's been struggling a bit at the plate. Had a big series against St. Louis the last time he was at Miller Park. As you see, Lucroy Hawkins getting ready for the Tampa Bay ninth. And it's 2-2.
Yeah, it all started with that start for Kotsay against Ryan Dempster and that split-fingered fastball. Dempster got the best of him, and since that start, Kotsay has been a little bit caught in between up there at the plate.
0 for his last 13 at the plate. Bases loaded, nobody out, and the 2-2 and a strikeout. Kotsay swings and misses.
That's a lonely feeling up there. You get good pitches to hit, you put a good swing on them, and you just feel as though you have a hole in your bat. Check out that pitch. Pretty good pitch on the outside corner, but when Kotsay is going good, he's going to line that one into left somewhere. It was on the corner, but up. Kotsay is just not seeing it all that well right now.
So the first out of the 8th inning. Now it's Betancourt, who made the final out of the 6th inning with the bases loaded. Prior to that, Betancourt with a single and a line drive out as he pulls that one foul. Back-to-back walks started the inning. Then McGee singled. And Betancourt is down 0-2. Now the Brewers are going to face a tough hurler tomorrow, and Jeremy Hellickson. He has been one of the best pitchers in the American League this year. He's a rookie, 7-5 and a 3.09 ERA. Was the pitcher of the month in the American League in the month of May. He's kept it going in June. Betancourt lifts it in the air, foul. That'll get back in the seats. Zach Greinke tomorrow for Milwaukee, and a 7-game winner in Jeremy Hellickson, pitching like an all-star in his rookie season.
Well, that's a good change-up. Zach Greinke looking for a bounce-back start. He got roughed up a bit in Chicago. Well, his worst outing as a Brewer, 8 runs he allowed.
Uni down 0-2. Joel Peralta summons out of the bullpen for Joe Madden, their setup man. Able to lay off 1-2 to count. No doubt about the Rays starting pitching. They can go toe-to-toe with anybody in the major leagues. After Hellickson on Tuesday, the Rays will send David Price to the mound. Price is a 7-game winner, 7-6 with a 3.61 ERA. The best of them all this year has been James Shields. Big game James, another complete game yesterday.
Yeah, the Rays lead the American League in complete games this year.
Shields has 5 of them. The Rays with 6. They pieced together a bullpen this year. They're getting a lot of success from Farnsworth closing games, Peralta setting up games. But when your starters are averaging nearly 7 innings per start, that's a recipe for success in the bullpen. The Brewers' starting pitching had been over 6 innings per start until the weekend in Boston. That 1 inning start by Markham, leaving due to injury, and Gallardo going just 3 innings yesterday. Line drive, base hit. Yuniesky Betancourt delivers with a hit. Fielder is on his way to the plate, and he will score on a terrible throw from the outfield. 2 runs are in on Yuniesky Betancourt's single to left, and it is 8-3.
Now Longoria was getting in position for a cutoff to home plate, and had Gugliano not bobbled it out there, the throw would have come into home. He threw it to third, Longoria not there. High fastball, Betancourt gets on top of it and hits a bullet in the left. A little bit of a bobble out there. He throws it into third, and Longoria has to get over there quickly. He wasn't anywhere near third base when that throw was made.
Once Ed Cedar saw the bobble, he waved Fielder home. Maybe on second thought, that's not a poor throw. Just nobody was at the base he was throwing to.
I don't think you can blame anybody, really. I mean, Longoria did his job getting into the cutoff position, and once the bobble was made, Gugliano made the right throw to third base.
That's a good call by Ed Cedar. 2 runs are in, and the beat keeps going here. See if the Brewers can tack some more on. Back to a 5-run game. 8-3 Tampa Bay. Yuniesky Betancourt driving in 2 runs with his second hit. Lucroy homered his last time up. Into straightaway center. He had a good cut. 1-1 the count. Craig Counsell moving into the on-deck circle. You're never rooting against a home run, but when you're trying to make a comeback and you're this many runs down, sometimes it can be tougher on the pitcher just to keep the line moving. Chip away singles and doubles, keep him in the stretch.
Home run's a rally killer here.
Now if Lucroy wants to take one deep, that'd be all right too. Just saying. On the corner, a strike. 1-2.
Home run's never a bad option.
Still just 1 out. Lucroy with a walk tonight, his 7th homer of the year, now 32 driven in. Lucroy's always been known in the Brewer system coming up as a good hitting catcher, a guy that could spray the ball around, hit for average, on base percentage. He's in a tough spot. Not only does he have to catch and spend a lot of time on the pitching staff and the game plan, but hitting in the 8th spot in the National League lineup is a very tough spot in the batting order, especially for a young hitter. Lucroy's done a nice job.
He's had a lot of success down there in the order. When he was really swinging the bat well, Ron Renneke was tempted to move him up in that batting order, which he did on a couple of occasions. But with everybody healthy, Jonathan fits that number 8 spot in the batting order pretty well.
There was a year in the minor leagues when he hit 20 homers back in 08. Still in single A that year. Has not been in double digits since. The 2-2. Fights another one off. Pitch count rising here for Peralta. Remember, Cesar Ramos started this inning, back-to-back walks. Joe Madden forced to go to his setup man with a 7-run lead. And the Brewers starting to put some pretty good at-bats together. Two on, one out. McGee out at second. Betancourt at first. And another foul out of play. Lucroy hanging tough. Last year, Lucroy with 4 home runs and 26 RBIs. So here we are on the 20th of June, and he already has career highs for home runs, RBIs. He's 2 away from a career high in doubles.
And much more comfortable out there on the field, both behind the plate and at the plate. Had a lot going on last year.
Another 2-2 coming from Peralta. And another foul out of play.
Fastball, sliders, and split-fingered fastballs from Peralta. And Lucroy's fouled every one of them off.
You'll see at least 9 pitches. The kind of at-bat that can leave a mark. He can deliver with a hit. He has seen everything Peralta has to offer. First and second, 1 away. Another 2-2. And another foul out of play. Like gum on a shoe, Peralta cannot shake Jonathan Lucroy.
Yeah, the second 10-pitch at bat by a Brewer hitter tonight. Remember Casey McGee able to draw a walk. The key is you work the count like this, you make him work, you got to come through. Doesn't mean much if you don't get a base hit or get on base.
Lucroy hit his first home run since May 31st, his last time up. Had 5 home runs in the month of May. Pitch number 10 coming. And another foul out of play. Jonathan Lucroy doing his best Luke Appling impression here. Fouling them off fast as they're coming in.
That was another splitter that hung up there for Lucroy. And it's all well and good to foul those pitches off. When you hang splitters like that, the one that Peralta just hung, well, those are the ones you got to hammer somewhere.
We'll do it again. The 11th pitch. Casey McGee at second. Betancourt at first. Still just 1 away. And Lucroy in a battle. Another 2-2. And it's upstairs. Ball 3. Peralta wanting to see just how high he would go to chase that pitch.
There's no way Peralta wants to have that splitter end up there. He's trying to dig it in the dirt, but just can't get it down. That split up in the zone is not a very good pitch.
Look at the Fox tracks. 11 pitches, and a lot of them up above the strike zone. That's an inning for most guys. One at bat here. Number 12 coming. Full count to Lucroy. Inside move, Casey McGee. Sure, Peralta not worried about McGee running.
And just a little bit unsure about the call. 22 pitches are ready for Peralta. It's only his third hitter.
Half of them coming here against Lucroy. And now it is hit in the air, left center. Back is Ruggiano, and he'll make the catch for the out. Just missed it on the bat.
Yeah, just barely got it down on the handle, just enough on the trademark. Boy, what a battle by Jonathan.
So a 12-pitch at bat, and at the very least, it is going to force Joe Maddon to go back to his bullpen. So 2 men are out. Craig Counsell will hit. And Maddon is going to make another pitching change in this inning. His third reliever used, and the fourth reliever that has actually stood on that mound in this inning. Here comes Farnsworth. We'll take a break.
Play. That concerns me more than anything that we do. You know, I look at it's a very good pitching staff. I don't think we should be really inconsistent with how we play. It's a good offense. I realize that because we hit homers, I realize that's going to be a little inconsistent, but still, I don't think we should be. I mean, it's a roller coaster ride.
Ron Renneke commenting before the game. He was ejected from this game in the bottom of the 6th inning. And then the Rays poured it on. They scored 4 in the 7th, 3 in the 3rd inning. 6 of those 7 runs coming with 2 outs. But the Brewers are trying to put up a little bit of a fight here. They have 2 runs in. Betancourt drove in a pair with a single. And Joe Maddon has brought on his closer in the 8th inning with Craig Counsell pinch hitting. 2 on, 2 out. Top of the order coming up next. Ricky Weeks would hit next if Counsell could reach. And Counsell breaks his bat. Little flare right field line. That is going to fall foul.
Yeah, that would have been a thing of beauty. I missed the right field line by about 2-3 feet. That would have made things interesting here at Miller Park. And Farnsworth has been terrific for the Rays this year. He's got 15 saves. He's only walked 2 batters in 26 2/3 innings. He's got 18 strikeouts. I mean, 2 walks. I mean, that's what you want out of your closer. You've got to make the opposition hit their way on. You don't walk them, and he hasn't done that.
Farnsworth has been around a long time. He's now 35 years of age. And he deals a strike to Counsell. Tampa Bay lost Rafael Soriano. Went to the Yankees. It was great in their closer's role last year. Found lightning in a bottle here with Farnsworth, at least through mid-June. Joe Madden wants to snuff this thing out right here and now. 0-2 to Counsell. Down and in, ball one. Counsell is 4 for 20 as a pinch hitter this year. Rally caps are on. And a swing and a miss. The inning is over. The Brewers get 2. A long inning. They get to their setup men and their closer, but still trail by 5. It's 8-3 Tampa. On the field for Brewers fans tonight, down 8-3 to the Tampa Bay Rays. Still mixing it up a little bit this evening. And we go to the 9th inning from Miller Park. The Brewers are going to send up Lucroy Hawkins, and his 20th appearance of the season. He pitched yesterday against the Red Sox, had a scoreless inning, a 3-3 down 8th inning, also in a lopsided game.
Yeah, 1 earned run for Hawkins in 19 appearances this year. He's been very good, throwing strikes, 4 walks, 9 strikeouts. Not much of a big strikeout pitcher anymore, and a .49 earned run average. Has not allowed a home run yet.
Hawkins called a meeting with his manager, wanted to produce in that 7th inning, felt like he was ready for that role, and he has been in that role. Unfortunately, the Brewers haven't had many leads to put him in that role. Faces Sean Rodriguez to start the inning. Rays not known for their offense. 2nd lowest batting average in the American League. Runners in scoring position, a trouble spot for the Rays this year, but they came up big in the 7th and the 8th. Had 3 consecutive hits with 2 outs in the 7th inning to produce runs, and then a 3-run homer with 2 outs by Longoria in the 8th. Casey McGee on the run takes care of Rodriguez for out number 1. Rodriguez finishes 1 for 4. Casey Kochman with 1 away. Got any big plans for Green Week here at Miller Park, Rock?
I don't.
Nothing green?
A little bit too far for me to ride my bike into the ballpark. 18 miles from door to door.
How long has it been since you've been on a bike, Rock? Last time Schroeder was on a bike,
I think it was in spring training.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Got on a bike? New workout program?
Pedaled around? No. I stole a bike.
Just borrowed it.
Yeah. Gave it back. How about you? What are you doing for Green
what
Week?
they say is true. Did you forget how to ride a bike?
I didn't.
Oh,
no.
Nice. Sure, it'd been a while.
I know we got the green jackets. I think that's Saturday, isn't it?
Yes, a tradition like none other. We will sport the green jackets. It's going to be an interesting time accessorizing the green jackets.
I'm not quite sure what color pattern to go with. Combinations? I can honestly say that I don't have a lot of green in my clothing repertoire.
Right.
But I'm going to come up with something.
I'm looking forward to it. That's Saturday.
I'm not going to go with the obvious green and gold. I mean, that's just.
Oh man, that just blew me up right there.
That's just too easy.
That was my go-to. Hawkins strikes out Kochman for the second out. Is it a possible bow tie day for you on Saturday?
I wouldn't consider that to be a special occasion, a holiday. I have strict, rules with respect to the bow tie.
Wore one yesterday.
I'll be honest with you. The folks in New England, they weren't ready for the bow tie at Fenway Park.
I mean, they're ready for it, but not, in a different arena. They're, MIT is so close. You expect to see a bow tie at MIT.
You expect a smart guy to wear a bow tie, right?
That's kind of what I was.
I know what you were saying, a roundabout way of saying it.
But the irony is what makes it so entertaining.
I was in that lunchroom in Fenway Park yesterday, and I'll tell you what, I thought I had 3 heads. I mean, as big as 3 heads, but I knew you were looking at me going to say that too, so I beat you to it.
I thought you looked terrific in your bow tie yesterday.
Peter Gammons liked it, though.
Sure he did. Peter Gammons will accept anything from a Cape Cod Hall of Famer.
That's right.
Have you been keeping a record with the bow tie on this year?
2-2.
Okay. Hold to the fort at 500. Kelly Shopping with 2 away. Top of the order coming up for the Brewers in the ninth. The Shopping rips one to the gap in right center. That is going to go to the wall. And more 2-out damage for the Tampa Bay Rays. They've done a lot of work tonight with 2 away.
Well, Shopping taking that pitch, middle away and driving it into the right center. Shopping with his first base hit. He also reached on an error back in the 5th inning and drew a big walk in the 7th.
The right-handed hitting version of the catching tandem. Elliott Johnson with 2 away. Cardinals idle tonight. Brewers in danger of dropping out of the top spot in the National League Central with the loss tonight. Ricky Weeks scoops it up, throws out Johnson to end the inning. I'll see if the Brewers can do some damage here in the 9th inning. Top of the order coming up. To the bottom of the 9th we go, and setting a new standard for between innings dance moves. I think those guys are related. I know they're related, as a matter of fact.
Do you know them?
No, but I just know they're related.
No. Kind of look alike.
Those are your seats, aren't they, Rock?
I don't have seats.
Hang until the very end. That's the way you do it. 8-3, the Rays lead the Brewers. Ricky Weeks will lead off. Weeks, Morgan, and Hart. Anybody gets on, Prince Fielder. And that's worth waiting up for. Ricky with 2 hits. He has drawn a walk today. 2 for 3 at the plate, and his batting average at .292 now, with an on-base percentage of .360. Yankees beat the Reds earlier today. Yankees in Cincinnati, a 5-3 win. Yankees got a 4-run first inning against Travis Wood. Mariano Rivera saved his 18th. So New York bumping the Reds back. Cincinnati coming into play today, 38 wins, 35 losses, so they go back to 2 over 500. They'll fall 2.5 back. That National League is bunched up tight. Starting play today, the Brewers had the 2nd best record in the National League. Only the Phillies with a better record. As Weeks goes into center field, B.J. Upton is back on the track. He's got it for the out. 1 out in the 9th. Our Menards player of the game, Evan Longoria, gave the Rays some separation with a 2-out, 3-run home run in the 8th.
Yep, 4 RBIs. The at-bat before that, a base hit in the 7th. To score a run. And made some pretty good defensive plays.
One out for Nigel Morgan. Interesting that Joe Madden asking an inning plus out of his closer tonight, despite a 5-run lead. But a well-rested bullpen, when you have starters that go deep in every game, you can afford to take chances like that.
Can't keep your closer in the sidelines too long. They get rusty.
Morgan down the right field line. That's going to go to the wall. And Nigel Morgan able to run for a while. We'll stop at second. We'll settle for a double. No sense chancing it. Down 5 runs. First hit of the night for Nigel Morgan.
And Nigel with that quick bat. Farnsworth trying to put one on the inside corner and leak that out over the plate. And rips it right down that right field line. Looking at Eddie Cedar. Eddie saying, hold on, we're down by too many to chance it. Yeah, last appearance for Farnsworth was back on the 17th, 3 days ago. So it's about time for him to get some work in.
Here's Corey Hart now. Now Farnsworth, the last line of defense for Joe Madden. The Brewers can get something going here. Having already pitched in the 8th inning, then sitting down and back on the mound again for the 9th. You never know.
They wear him out for tomorrow's game.
One day leads to the next in this game.
Yeah, something tells me a guy his size isn't going to be easily worn out. We got some pretty big pitchers in that bullpen. You see that Adam Russell around the batting cage?
Yeah, I did.
My goodness.
Huge man. Makes Jeff Neiman look small.
Yeah. I've got Adam Russell at 6'8", 255 pounds. I think the poundage on him a little bit light in that media guide. I'm not talking about bad weight either.
Farnsworth 6'4", 230. He was a big prospect with the Cubs when he came up. Saw a lot of him in Chicago. He's been in the big league since '99.
Yeah, very inconsistent out there on the mound, particularly throwing strikes, but he's certainly corrected that. He's only walked 2 so far this year. Not a big strikeout guy, but keeps the ball down, gets his ground ball outs.
The Rays, his 6th different team. He made 2 tours with the Braves. Finished the season with the Braves last year after the Royals traded him at the deadline. He's been a Yankee, a Cub, a Royal, twice in Atlanta, pitched for the Tigers for 2 years. He's sitting on 15 saves right now. He is 1 off a career high, which he did back in '05, combined between the Tigers and the Braves. 1-2 to Hart. Kyle Farnsworth. When he was a member of the Cubs organization, he earned the nickname Quadzilla for the size of his quads. Hart got a piece. That's where all the power comes from.
Yep, pushing off that pitching rubber, driving toward home plate. Takes a lot of pressure off that arm. Interesting tattoo around that right elbow.
Down in the dirt. 2-2. The count evens.
One way you keep your arm sound, you balance off that back leg and then you drive toward home plate. Yeah, drop and drive, a good bend in that front leg, and that's where he gets his power.
An imposing figure on the mound, Farnsworth. Hart's hanging tough. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And he finally strikes him out. 2 outs in the inning. And the Brewers down to their last out. Fielder will hit. Well, at this point, you're trying to get Yuniesky Betancourt to the plate if you're looking way ahead. Punching the All-Star cards. You can vote here until Friday at Miller Park, by the way. Brent should be headed to the All-Star game. He said he would participate in the home run derby if asked. He has a home run derby title to his credit back in St. Louis 2 years ago.
Well, not only should he be on the All-Star team, he should be starting in the All-Star game now that Albert Pujols will not be able to participate.
Pujols, the leading vote getter among first basemen. They released the numbers again today. Ryan Braun leads all National Leaguers. It's impressive that a Milwaukee Brewer can be the all-star leader in votes. Braun has earned over 3 million votes at this point. Lance Berkman is second, 2.5 million. Fielder goes into the gap. That's going to get down a base hit. And here comes Nigel Morgan. So Prince adds to his National League lead in RBIs. Fielder with his 62nd RBI of the season. Single in an RBI scoring Nigel Morgan.
He just never gives up in that bat. Yeah, just so impressive, the concentration for Prince Fielder. The tendency is in a game like this, you're down by 5. You go up there, you try and hit home run. Look at the approach for Prince. That sinker going down and away. Prince stays right on it, gets it toward the end of the bat, and then dumps it into center for an RBI. That's how you lead the league in RBIs. Games like this, you find yourself down a few runs.
Casey McGee, center field, and a sliding catch for the out, and the ball game is over. On the first pitch, McGee flies out. Nice play by B.J. Upton. One to forget tonight. 8-4, the Rays come in here. They win the opening game of this 3-game series. Much more still to come on this game. Craig Kashan, what do you have coming up for us on Brewers Live?
Well, interleague play continues here for the Brew Crew. They're in a tough stretch right now. We'll get the thoughts from the Brewers going